All right. And we are live. The last word with Lord Cognito, Ebontis, and Ty Guy Travis on that fresh YouTube Friday morning campfire.
What?
Big special guest, you know. But before we get into that, let's start with the man of the hour first, the cheetah himself. How are we doing, sir?
We're doing good. Woke up this morning, got a little breakfast in, worked out the last couple days, just been sore off and on.
Nice.
Yeah, trying to
Putting in
stay.
that pain. I like that.
Well, it was the funny thing because I've been dragged the rowing machine that was sitting upstairs downstairs now, so I can kind of do it like little different hours from when my wife is working. And I rowed Monday, and then my wife and I went to work out Tuesday, and we were doing a push day, and I was like, my legs are weirdly sore. It's like we worked out Saturday and we did like heavy stuff Saturday at a friend's house. I'm like, why are my legs so sore? Totally forgetting that rowing that I hadn't done in a little while was going to make my legs sore. I'm like, and finally it clicked in later. I was like, oh, that was it. And finally we're both just like, I was like, I rowed. And she's like, oh, she's like, I thought you were crazy for some reason. Like my legs were oddly sore because I'll work. I mean, I teach and everything, but my legs were sore. But no, other than that, just, you know, keeping up with seeing if anything fancy is going to happen in Destiny. I started Mass Effect 2.
All right. Yes, I saw the link. I was very
Mass
impressed.
Effect, yep. So Mass Effect 2 has begun.
Nice. Goat talk. Let's get it.
Yeah. So
it must feel good, huh?
I'm about 6 hours in, so not that far.
Okay.
The opening is just like, hey, what's up? Poof. Just gonna kind of kick things off real fast. So Mass Effect 2 got it going. But what about you, Travis? No, I don't need to take up the whole mic. How you doing?
Oh yeah, doing great, man. Just finished my review of Chris Tales, doing all the writing and everything and the voiceover yesterday.
Do we get a preview of that score? Do we get to know how it did, or can you not say yet?
I don't know if I'm allowed to do that.
Exactly. That's the Patreon tier, sir. We're not jeopardizing this IGN career of his, sir.
Yeah, but it will be live today at some point once the video guys are done with it.
How long was it? That's what I was actually kind of curious about.
It took me 47 hours to beat that game.
For Chris, did you go completion or?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I tried to do everything. So the completionist run, I guess, 47 hours. I did all the side quests and everything.
That's a lot bigger than I thought it was.
It was pretty big. I was told 30 to 40, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna wake up today and just finish it on Wednesday, and I ended up finishing it at like 11 p.m. It took me all day playing that final day. So, yeah. It was fun. I'm sitting here in my clean room. It's like super bright in this room, and then if you open that door and go down the hallway, it's like pitch black because it's still nighttime here. But yeah, it's good to be back.
Yeah, shout out to Travis. Yeah, shout out to Travis getting up this early. But we got a guest this morning, so let's bring him in. Welcome to The Last Word, episode number 159. Solstice is still in its holding pattern. Season 15 can't get here soon enough. And sadly, once again, some people need to be reminded to treat each other with decency. It's not a hard concept. Just be respectful to each other. This week, we are joined by one of the nicest guys you really don't want to piss off. I've met him in person. I was just glad to get my hand back. An old school gamer like many of us who played classic beat-em-ups on NES and has a ninja inside him just like Cognito. No, for real. This man took the fun of beating people up on screen and harnessed that energy to become a true master of martial arts. He also decided to master another art form. Graphic design has been helping content creators for years now as well. So let's welcome a man who could deadlift a small car, could fill a whole room with his martial arts trophies, and another with the books that he's read. And it's all while his body is working against him, so props to that. His determination to excel at everything he does is clear when you spend any time with him, and he is always in it to help those around him and build up others along the way. So without further ado, Khan, how are you doing, sir?
I am, it's never been introduced like that before. I feel like it should be the copyright of my website. I am doing well. I'm awake. That's well.
He is awake. Official. Oh, dude, we were so happy to have you. No, I met you a couple years ago at Guardian Con with me and millions of other people who passed by the booths. But no, it's like you have been in the Destiny community for a while and just, yeah, you've done so much quality work. And you mentioned a piece that was really cool at that Destiny Con that we met, or GCX. I can't not call it Destiny Con, but at GCX and everything.
I know. It's funny, E, because I was looking back at that GCX and I was, just running around with the camera, and it was right before I bumped into you. I literally have Khan on tape. Like, I went to his booth. I'm like, oh, Khan, what's going on? He shook my head, whatever. And it's funny now just seeing things come full circle. He's at the campfire with us, man. So this is pretty cool, man. But yeah, we got to talk. So we got to get into this game in history first, if you don't mind, E.
No, I knew you were going to jump on this one, so I figured I'd try and tee it up for you.
Because I was checking things out, and Khan was speaking to the gaming ninja soul here. You know what I mean? He has some specific choices that I wanted to talk about. Obviously, you know, I'm Lord Cognito, the gaming ninja. My namesake is based off that. Shinobi's one of my favorite games. But the man also had Ninja Gaiden, but I got to give him props on 2 games that I haven't seen mentioned in a while. One, Tenchu, which in my opinion is true ninja stealth, like the true representation of it in video game form. And then the second one was a little gem for Sega heads, which was Shenmue. So I got to talk to you about those 2, man. Tell me about those in your gaming history.
Oh, man. The first time my buddy showed me Tenchu Stealth Assassins, I was like, oh, man, that's pretty cool. I like that. I was like, but I kept getting beat up in the first time I played it. Like, I gotta actually sneak up on these guys. And, you know, that led to me, like, getting really into the game and, like, sneaking up behind people. Yes. And then they released a couple, like, subsequent sequels on PS2. Yes. And my favorite ones were they released the masseuse called Teshu. Ooh, he had the massage needles. He was like an acupuncturist. Yes. He was a straight up bald dude. He was kind of jacked. Looks like me now, actually, except for his beard.
He manifested.
He would like reach in behind you, and they would use X-rays when he killed. He was the only person with X-ray kills. You see his hands go inside my rib cage, and then all their ribs would break at the same time.
Yes,
I'm like,
this is Mortal Kombat before it was Mortal Kombat
ever.
Yes,
actually, I think it might have been. I don't know. I'm not sure if X-rays came out before or after, but that like cinched the nail for me. But I've loved that series ever since. Until like it's. I think they had the last one they released was like you could be any ninja and it wasn't as fun.
Yeah. I think they even had like a co-op one at one point. I'm gonna say Xbox 360. Then it kind of faded off, but salute on you with that. Yeah, man. Because again, you nailed it. Like at that point, ninja games were kind of always like very fast, actiony. But I never really thought they captured the essence of the ninja, which is stealth, sneak around, deception, use the little rice trails and doing things to get people off their beaten path and sneak behind them, get some little cinematic kind of thing. So salute to you on that. And I gotta follow up again with that Shenmue. Talk to me about that. Why was Shenmue on that list? Because Shenmue was important to me, but I want to know why it's important to you.
Oh, man. When I first got Dreamcast and I saw the trailer for Shenmue, I was like, this game looks amazing. It was so ahead of its time graphically, story-driven-wise.
Yes.
If you would have just play it now, like it's like you look at it like, oh yeah, when this game came out, you know, PS3. No, this came out before the PS2. This thing was so ahead of its time in the story. Everything was voiced. All the characters were voiced.
Yes.
So you used to playing Morrowind and all those other RPGs. They were like, oh, you got to read the text. Well, let's say one line, read the text. This is like almost every single line of dialogue in the game was voiced by a character. And it was one of the games that had video games inside of a video game, which was kind of better.
Yes,
so you could go to an arcade and like play like old school Sega games inside the arcade. Even play like gacha games, like dropping in some quarters. It was the game that made me say on that day for like a whole 2 years after playing that game. Because every time he would interview somebody, he'd be like, on that day, like his dad got killed in the game, so he's trying to figure out who killed him. And part 2 was it was a game.
What about 3? Did either of you guys ever play 3?
Yeah, I have it.
Is that like a sad?
I waited for it to come out, but I couldn't get. I forgot what happened in part 2, so I didn't pick it back up.
Yeah, you know what it was, E. All right, this is gonna hurt because it's like everything Khan is dropping is pure knowledge, right? It's from the original Shenmue was so ahead of its time, right? Graphically, and like you said, the NPCs. I mean, you even had to get a job in the game and wake up and go to sleep. It was really doing things in the open world space. And graphically, I think it was using like AM2's engine with Virtual Fighters, which was amazing at the time. What has happened since then is I love you because I used to go. I love you. So Yu Suzuki got me in the gaming, so I'm going to be respectful as I possibly can. However, 3 to me feels like
that's just a
gaming has kind of passed him by a bit. You know what I'm saying? That I feel like it just hasn't caught up to what's going on now. And it was funded by PlayStation, to kind of help him get across the finish line. So that's all I will say to it. But yeah, it's for the nostalgic heads, yes, they will love it. But to anyone new to the series, they're going to be like, okay, this is kind of clunky, a little antiquated with certain things. But I always love the martial arts influence and then the fighting systems and things that they put inside of it. So
yeah, but if you find Shenmue boring, you should still thank it and respect it for giving us Yakuza, because I don't.
Oh, for sure. That's agreed. Yeah. That's the spiritual successor to what Shenmue should be. Perfect analogy, Travis. I agree.
Travis, got a question for him?
Travis, what you got for the con?
Oh yeah. I was going to ask, so now that we know how you got into gaming, obviously the community in Destiny knows you for art. So could you tell us a little bit about how you got into your artwork that you're now known for?
Oh, that's an easy question to answer because it's not that long ago. I got into playing the Destiny beta and fell in love with the game, started playing it, like pretty heavily. By that time, I wasn't back into doing art yet, so it was still a long go for I got back in. And then started seeing fan art on. Actually, Destiny's the game that made me get a Twitter account so I could follow the Guardians podcast by Mark Tarkott. The
Guardian Radio,
yep, the legend, yeah,
yeah.
So that's what made me put together a Twitter account. My first Twitter handle was Iron Lord Khan. That was my that was my freaking my handle in there. And so I'm seeing all this fan art, and I see some stuff on Instagram by Cobb1. I'm like, oh man, this stuff looks like so good. I would love to get back into doing art. And
shout out to Cobb.
Push come to shove, I got very, very sick that following year, right when Kingsfall came out. I got really ill. I came down with a muscle disease. And that put me in the hospital. When I came out, I shrank up. I lost 50 or 60 pounds. I went from 215 to 160 because I couldn't swallow food or water.
Jeez. Wow, brother.
But I was like, I just need to get back into doing something. I can't lift. I can't do martial arts. I can't bodybuild. I can't fight. I need to do something. So I started doing art again, doing fan art. And watching Cobb arts, Cobb1's art on Instagram catapult to me into buying a refurb laptop and getting back into doing illustration again, which was it was a challenge because I didn't have a tablet yet.
Right.
So everything I drew on there was all trackpad. So I was taking my time doing that for a couple of years, for a few months, not a couple of years, 4 months or so.
And then decided to take it seriously and be like, all right, now I got to get a tablet and all the gear.
Yeah, man. No,
that was after taking a decade off. I didn't make anything for a decade before that.
Wow.
Literally a whole 10 years.
Wow.
If you mind me asking, because you really dropped, obviously a powerful story just now in reference to the condition, how did you mentally get through it? And then also on the physical side, just to get yourself, back to where you needed to be, as well as, just going through this condition, just enduring that. How did that process go for you?
Luckily I'd already encountered a bunch of hardships. And my mantra is, I'm not going to curse on your podcast, but I didn't come this far to F and fail. I did not. I've crawled out of too many holes to be stopped by, some disease. So
talk to him.
It's autoimmune. So anybody's going to kill me, it's going to be me. And I guess it will be me because it's an autoimmune disease.
Trust me, I know what you mean. I share one as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's tough. It's tough, but having that mental toughness and, like you said, not allowing that to conquer you, you know what I'm saying? And still, persevere and do what you're doing now is tremendous. So we got to salute you on that, because a lot of people would break during that condition, and you use it as a motivation, man. And it's good to see, you know what I'm saying, you persevere through that.
Yeah, it's like if you don't have that history and then you go look at your Twitter thread, and I joked about you deadlifting a car, but one of the recent ones was deadlifting 495. You hit it twice for a couple sets, and I saw that and I was just like, damn. And just to not have the other piece and know that that's what you're doing now, that's a hell of a lot of work to get back to where you are. And that's just impressive and goes to show more about your determination to power through and say, does it
it
care?
It was at the low point. Before I went to I was put in the hospital. I couldn't use my arms to push myself out of bed to sit up in the morning, so I had to use all abdominal strength. The muscles had atrophied behind my triceps had atrophied completely.
Wow.
So when I went back to the gym after the surgery, it helps curb these symptoms of the disease.
Okay.
So I got 6 cuts on my side, and they pulled up my thymus gland. It's called a thymectomy. And so when I got back out and I got healed up, and they said I could move around again. First thing I did was went back to the gym, and I was doing push-ups with my knees, except for I was on my belly, so I couldn't do knee push-ups. They were belly push-ups. And eventually, after 90 days, I was doing a 1 or 2, 1 to 5 actual push-ups. I just kept going from there. The triceps will never be the same. I'll never be able to bench close to 400 again. It's never going to happen. The muscles are just. I'm getting too old, too gray, and the muscles will never be the same.
I don't see a whole lot of gray in that beard. You're doing fine.
Yeah, you're doing more than fine, brother.
It's the lighting. It's the lighting. See?
It's designed to hide it.
I'll be 39 this year. This is all
You're
lighting.
meshing right between Cog and I. You're between us both, so you're good.
Talk. Yeah. That's what I want to hear. Yes.
Anybody who throws NES in there, I'm like, yep, you're about our age, because I'm 38 and I just turned. So I was like, we're right with you.
No doubt. Salute.
Looking the sideburns, I'm like, damn, that one's actually real.
You guys are old.
Yeah.
You're
old. Yeah.
Travis.
Travis is all like, awake with all this energy.
No, what else you got? Because I got more stuff for Con after you.
No, but I mean, I wanted to kind of go back a little farther. One thing you mentioned, and it's probably where some of your styling and everything comes from, is your martial arts. You've got almost 75 trophies. You said you've been doing it forever. What type of martial arts you do? What did you take it through? And I'm just kind of curious, what are some of your proudest trophies that you've got from that piece of your journey?
I started off doing Northern Shaolin. I started off doing karate, like most people. It's kind of hard to find kung fu schools. I started doing karate around 7 or 8. Eventually, I got into doing Northern Shaolin in middle school and high school. I did that, competed. Nice. And after I went to college, I got out and I started learning Kuntao Silat, which is Indonesian. Okay. And I got into doing Mongolian wrestling, which is how I got my nickname.
Nice.
I was literally at that point I was just I got 215, 200. And I was just training it just to, kind of break up the things I was doing. And I would just pick people up and, slam them down. And I got the nickname Khan because I would just throw people around all the time. But I would need technique. I didn't get the technique down for a bit because it's very subtle. Yeah, just brute strength. I'm like, geez, man, you need to relax. I'm like, I am relaxed. So that's how I got the nickname. But I've been doing softer martial arts since then. So I took I'm transitioning to doing stuff that was softer because you get older, you can't be striking wood and hitting concrete.
Yeah,
it really wears down on your body after a while. So I started doing chin style Tai Chi and Bagua Zhang just to ease it out because I was already powerlifting on top of doing extra hard stuff in your body is bad for your joints. So
a little bit
softer stuff, better for my knees, elbows.
Yes,
it keeps me from everything seizing up and the arthritis taking over.
Trust me, I know about that.
Keeps the joints fluid.
Us 40 something know about that.
You take enough bad shots in the ring, you're like, I can't do this again. I can't get in the ring again. No. I'm like, oh man, I bet you could beat me up. I'm like, nah, I probably hit you with a chair by now. I'm like, I can't be moving around fast with you guys. I might pull something.
I got a cramp. Stay there. Hold on. I got to work out this cramp. I will take you down once I'm ready.
That's why I say hydrated. I gotta
Salute, man. That's respect of the body, no doubt. On that theme, I'm sorry. Continue.
So yeah,
no.
Continue. Yeah, I don't really have any. A lot of the trophies I threw away though. I don't really have. Only I kept with the medals and a couple small ones. Because they're once you stop competing, and you kind of look at all this stuff. It's just like it takes up so much space. Number one. Number two, like looking at old trophies is kind of like it reminds me of the guy that was in Napoleon Dynamite. You ever see that movie?
Yes. Yeah.
It's like I was like his uncle or something. Like I bet back in my day I could throw a football over that mountain. I was like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Back in my day, I earned all these trophies. What can you do now? I eat donuts. I don't. It's the trophies. They serve a purpose when you're that age. When you're going through the things, it's like, oh, this is fun. Now I'm like, I can tell people I had them. It's not important to show.
Yeah,
like a bunch of like mess. That's a bunch of like plastic and wood that. It served its purpose, but it's living in the past, living on your past accomplishments don't really propel you forward.
It's true.
So I expelled all that junk.
I'm the same way, Khan. You win those trophies so that other people can't have them. That's really it. Doesn't matter what happens to them once you get them. It's just as long as they can't have them, it's good.
No doubt.
Actually, I gave a good amount of them away too. Yeah, I gave a bunch away to my students. Like, you have to take these.
Salute, man. Let's keep this martial arts theme for a little bit. So one thing I respect is those Woo Wednesdays. I'm feeling that, and I also saw some Run short flicks, sir. So we got to talk about that. Big fan of that era, that genre. So I just need real quick some favorites, because this is speaking to me now. I'm the guy who used to buy these flicks and really like, Five Deadly Venoms and all this good stuff. So talk to me, Carl. Woo Wednesdays and the Run Short. Give me some top films for you.
Oh, top? Probably number one film that got me into I was like, I have to take a kung fu class.
Let's go.
I got Shaolin vs. Wu-Tang on VHS. And I was like, I've got to learn Shaolin kung fu. So that basically propelled me into that. So that's probably like that's my gateway drug was Gordon Liu.
Gordon Liu, baby. Let's go. Educate E.
Oh, it's a hole to fall down. Like it's definitely I've probably seen like almost the entire like Shaw Brothers like catalog at this point, or own half of it.
Salute.
So this isn't the second one probably is like Kid with the Golden Arm.
Oh, that's a classic. Yes, let's go. Okay, he's speaking my language. I got to get King in here. This is woo. Mm-hmm.
Lo Mung was like he's my hero.
Okay,
he's one of the reasons I started lifting so much. I was like,
okay,
the guy he plays the Toad and
yes,
in Five Deadly Venoms.
Five Deadly Venoms, the Toad, big boy. Mm-hmm.
My buddy was like, "Why do you like that guy so much? He's the guy that always dies first." I'm like, "Yeah, but he's such a badass."
And that power would be impenetrable. Oh, this is fine. Continue.
God,
this is my Star Wars, Travis.
That's
I've never get to speak to anyone who speaks this language. Continue.
Everyone that says it like Five Deadly Venoms, I'm like, yeah, Five Deadly Venoms is good. It's a classic, but the one that's above that for me is Crippled Avengers.
Oh,
like that movie. The entire Five Deadly Squad is in the movie, except for they don't have like the powers they did in the other movie. They all get injured by a guy who has no arms. He's a guy who has no arms. He has metal arms. And all these guys are like, this guy blinds them. He like breaks their legs. He like crushed their windpipe. He like breaks their skulls. And then they go and get this master. And this guy, who they turn the guy blind, he becomes like a master of like with a staff at being blind. And the guy, he gets iron legs. He chops this guy's legs off. He gets iron legs. They all get these like these. They rise up from this catastrophic event. They didn't know kung fu.
Exactly. Destroyed.
They come back and just wreck shop over the entire like evil gang. I'm like, this is like, if that's not motivation, if you're like having some health issues, I don't know what is.
Good point. Yeah, man. You named some fire ones, man. Like, yeah, I was watching a couple of your streams and I saw them playing in the back, and then you had the Woo, the match. I see some Meth, some Ray going on, so it was a vibe. And for people of my generation, that's why Wu-Tang actually means a lot, because shout out to RZA, who was the DJ. He implemented a lot of these Shaw Brothers, these famous film influences in the hip hop. So it was a nice, this unique marriage, you know what I'm saying, of hip hop, the kung fu flicks and all that stuff. But shout out to Griff Blaze in the chat. He said, Wu-Tang, y'all old like me. Yes, we old talking right now, but it's respect, man. And that's why people, I think that's another reason why, besides the fact that the lyricists of Wu were just amazing, that's another reason why I think the group has transcended, because of that implementation of those Shaw flicks and classic kung fu films. So salute. Travis, what you got? Because I would take up over this whole segment, and I want to be rude.
No, that's amazing. Yeah, I thought we'd maybe get into some Destiny now.
Yeah. There's a game, right? Isn't this that game we play?
That game we play. I obviously I heard your origin story of coming back from defeat and going to that gym and lifting and all that, and you sound like you have the spirit of a Titan within you. Although I know you're a hunter main, which is controversial to this group, seeing as none of us are hunters. But
slander.
Tell us a little bit about your Destiny history, where you started with it, how you settled on becoming a hunter, even though clearly you're a Titan, that sort of stuff. Give it to us.
Oh man, so I saw when Destiny came out, when Destiny the beta came out. It was shortly after I had a breakup of about, they were together for like a decade or so. Mm-hmm. I do things for a long time before things fall apart, apparently. So it was like a decade.
He's committed.
And then, I had my roommate move. I had a roommate move in. It was like, he started watching like One Piece from the beginning. And I was like, oh yeah, I think I'll start doing something else besides sitting down here and watch One Piece. So I think the beta dropped the exact same time. And I got into it, and I was like, Hunter, Titan, Warlock, and I had all three classes when I started out. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh man, Hunters. I really, really like Hunters. Mm-hmm. And I might look like a Titan, but I don't like to run into things full speed. It's not smart. As somebody that's been in the ring and been hit, yeah, you can res in the game. You can't res your kneecap if you get broken off. So I play around corners. I don't. It's not. It looks like it's fun until you get smacked in the face. So I don't try not to. I don't live the Titan way. I live a little bit more strategically, because that's how life runs. Life doesn't run like a Titan until you hit something that's hard.
Are you implying that it might be OP and it's not realistic?
I mean, OP is fun in the game. It is. But if you're going to identify with the class, I was like, triple jump, that's the old school triple jump, from most video, get double jump from Mario and stuff like that. Like, oh yeah, I like double jump. Mm-hmm. And Titans were like, farting around, or like, whatever that was.
Keep this Titan slander continuing, please.
I don't know. It was not. It's fun to play. It was fun to play all three classes in D1 when I had the time. But I definitely was a Golden Gun main in D1 because it took some skill. You know what skill is? Titans? Probably not.
Anyway. Travis gonna have so much smoke for you when you finish. Continue.
That hitbox on Golden Gun's about that big.
You have to aim and shoot things in Destiny 1. I don't know. If you slam, I remember the exact day that they added hammers to D1, and I was playing hammers. And I was throwing hammers, and it was killing so many people, and I was missing the hammers. I was like, that guy definitely should have died. Nope. I was like, I had 30 kills this game, and I died twice. This is not correct. Because I'm not even trying.
Really?
So,
hammers were broken when they come out, but they were still fun.
I want to clip.
They were fun.
Yeah.
But it was wrong.
Oh, yeah. They got
some things that
down.
are fun are just wrong.
Yeah.
So,
oh my God.
Whenever I play on Titan, I'm like, I can get a lot more kills, but it doesn't feel as satisfying. It does not feel as satisfying as actually jumping through the air and just having that golden gun pop off and knowing you have zero armor. Just zero armor. You pop that super, you are gonna die. You are gonna die immediately. You jump up and pop it, you go and drop off 3 guys, you're like, I am a god. If you do it with the Titan, you're like, this is supposed to happen. I'm supposed to kill the entire team. This is how this goes. I cannot be stopped. I'm too fast and too strong and too much armor.
Interesting.
So that's why it's not as satisfying to kill people with Titan. It might feel visceral.
Khan wants to earn his kills. Khan wants to earn what he gets.
Travis, do you want to defend your class, sir?
Well, I mean, he's saying all the right things, that we get more kills, that we're stronger, and that we're all around better. So I don't really have any problems with what he's saying, except for, I disagree that it takes skills to get killed with Golden Gun. I mean, anybody can shoot 1v1 me, but it's just... I play a Defender Titan, so my perspective is completely different. I'm all about, dropping that bubble in the center of the map and killing you all with a shotgun. So that was my D1 experience. But,
your fun police vibe. I got you.
Yeah.
Who walks towards the bubble in PvP?
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, pops, they got popped a bubble. I guess I'll go take the zone.
Yeah, it's like, that's what you should do, but there's always somebody's like, I can totally beat him. I can beat him.
I pop it on the zone, man. Pop it on the zone.
Okay.
We need to capture, you pop it right on the zone, and then you just
there's
let
3
him
zones. I'll just walk away. It's over. He's not going anywhere. He's stuck in place.
To each point, I have seen a lot of people go in there to challenge Titans. Why?
I watch it every time. I'm like, this is going to end poorly. This is going to end so poorly. When I played Bubble Titan, I didn't play DFP way, but I would just because I didn't run shotgun. I would let people run in. I just punched to death.
Yeah.
Like, why are you just you could have just walked away.
Mm-hmm.
You could have walked away, and now you're dead.
You remember that old D1 map with the bridge in the middle? And it was like a old Russia map with the bridge in the middle, and that's where the B was. I remember on that map when we play Control, the B was right there in the bridge. I would just pop my bubble and then sit there with a sniper and just peek out of the bubble and just snipe people around the map. And none of them would come to me because they see there's this giant bubble right on the bridge. But it was like, all right, well, I can see everyone from here. I'm just going to start popping heads. A lot of great memories with that, but that was back when I was extra.
I remember that was the first map I played when they released that
Rift.
That gunsmith gun that was a sniper. It was the Irene, and it had luck.
Oh, I miss my Irene so much.
God, dude, that map is super
you could
underrated.
Body shot somebody and kill somebody. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, looking at that map now, playing it like in just in local co-op, not local co-op, but playing a private match on that D1. I was like, this map. I thought it was so much bigger back in D1. I went back and played it again. I'm like, this map is so tiny.
Yeah,
this map is so small.
One bridge, 2 buildings, we done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
maybe that's why I liked it. It was kind of small, although some of the maps probably don't work as well in D2 because you move so much faster and all that stuff. But easier to get across it. Yeah.
I was gonna ask real quick before I'm gonna give it to you, but in reference to hunter subclasses, I know you said gunslinger. I was just curious, specific, like how do you feel about Night Stalker? Yes, I want to know. Did that get anything on Blade Dancer? Like, what's like the second favorite subclass from you within hunter?
I'm not really good at Night Stalker because it requires the wombo combo.
Right.
And I am not great with those. Like, hunters have like the worst grenades in the game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Yeah. Like, if you throw a grenade now, like my favorite is trip mines in D1. Mm-hmm. But if you throw a trip mine in D2, all the geometry is so complex that it always ends up sticking at weird angles so that you can't get the kills you want anymore. Unless it's a flush wall, so it kind of ruins that grenade. When I played Night Stalker, like people throw down their I can't remember the fire on the ground, and it spreads out.
Oh yeah.
Void wave, like
the void
wave. Yeah, none of the grenades like actually work once I'm trying to control a zone. Like, like it's so when I can't like I don't want to in like running Arc Strider or Blade Dancer. Mm-hmm. Like Blade Dancer was fun. Mm-hmm. Arc Strider, I was like, you got to do all this maneuvering and like jumping around, and like, I just want to just set people on fire.
So that's back to gunslinger. No, the reason why I asked because I'm like, you have such a martial arts background, so I was wondering if because as a warlock, I'm not gonna lie, there is a part of me that really is tempted for Hunter, only for the simple fact that I feel, nimble, ninja, you know what I'm saying? When I see Blade Dancer super reflecting, you know what I mean? There's certain, and then like Night Stalker, throw the smoke down like a ninja, poof, doing little tricks, deception. So I was very curious. I was like, I wonder if any of that really appealed to him, but you want to go back to just shooting people with golden guns.
Actually, Way of the Wraith was probably like my second one then.
Okay.
Because like the Night Stalker, like the tethers just they don't work.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the supers, like if we're talking about why people don't like play other classes, why they're so much superior, our classes like the Hunter classes are they've been nerfed down so much they just feel weaker. Like if you try to tether a Titan, he's going to be out of the way by the time you shoot it in his direction or in front of him. He's just moving way too fast. Okay. And Arc Strider, it can be great if you get somebody like in a room, but most times people can just run like it's like Hunter's supposed to be the most mobile class in the game, but but Titans and Warlocks can both outmaneuver them, unfortunately.
In a way, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yep.
Because that's like why like I can't stop playing on them because I love them so much, but why am I being kicked in the face and like having my mobility taken away from me?
I feel
playing on Hunter.
I feel you. But you guys are on the top of the PvP boards, man. But just what put it.
Oh,
out
you got to be. You have to be great to play PvP. You have to be great to play PvP with a Hunter. You have to be great. There is no like. You can't be like okay and get by on a Hunter. That's why restrictions. You gotta be mentally above the board.
No doubt.
Yeah, I guess I'll tell you when I meet a great Hunter player.
Oh my, Travis, Messi. Travis, I love it. What you got, man?
I don't know. I was gonna ask. I don't know how much you raid, but if you have any thoughts about kind of just top 3 raids over the franchise, since you've kind of touched off and on a decent amount of the franchise, I don't know how much you've raided, but if just like big ones that we've been through and stuff like that, if you have any top pieces before we kind of get into what's going on this week, like what are the main highlights of the franchise or like top raids for you, depending on how much you've raided?
I haven't raided much at all in D2 due to my time restraints, but I rated, all 3 characters, every week on in D1. So if I was going back to D1 raids, number 1 would be King's Fall, number 2 would be Vogue, and number 3 would be Wrath of the Machine. Wrath of the Machine and Vogue can swap out though sometimes depending on who I'm playing with.
No doubt, I can respect that. E loves this, so I'm feeling this.
Hey, I got a win.
That's his raid. Yeah, Salute, Travis, do you approve, sir?
I do approve. I mean,
okay.
I don't take issue with anyone who says, Vault of Glass, King's Fall, or Wrath of the Machines in really whichever order. Like,
no doubt. Sir.
As long as they're not repping Crota or saying that Leviathan's their favorite one, we don't have any issues there.
I mean, it's just a long strike. You can run Crota by yourself.
It was actually the first dungeon in Destiny, in my opinion.
I'm fully aware of what's going on here. It's fine.
He ain't even gonna touch it. He gonna leave that alone.
I've touched it before. It's fine.
He just likes Crota because it gave him a chance to make a how to solo Crota's End YouTube.
Those videos was hot. Those videos were.
That's what I did too. I did the flawless, the flawless raider achievement. I just did Crota by myself. That was how I got that. Just super.
Yeah, my buddy and I got it. I always thought thematically it fit the Hive very well because there was a lot of franticness, especially in the opening. I thought they kind of nailed, and I think it was the big transition from Vex, Vault of Glass, all the teleporting and portals and confluxes and all that stuff, and they completely flipped the theme really hard to go from Vogue to, Hive, just running at you the whole time. Just the opening of that alone, I think, fit the theme really, really well. Yeah, it got to the point where a buddy of mine, we got our flawless raid, we 2-manned it, and we're just like, hey, do you want a 2-man it? About 3 hours later, we were done and had our flawless, and it's just like, that one happened once you figured it out, but early on, I still thought the theme, it felt really good, so.
Yeah, I know. It
tells a cool story. Yeah.
It tells a cool story. Yeah. Era's fire team, and then I will give you.
I was like, I like the
opening.
I will say one other thing: we wouldn't have King's Fall without Crota. So,
for sure, we had to kill, the sun before Pappy got involved.
Yes, that's correct. Well,
what else going on, Eve?
I was going to say, for the world of Destiny, we do have some stuff going on. Recently, we got a fairly light TWAB, but we did actually get some kind of TWAB. Biggest thing that started it, though, I was going to say, I know Travis is going to be happy about this one.
Travis, I can't wait to hear his piece on this.
Unraveling synth strands. Effective at the start of Season 15, we will deprecate the passively earned world currency synth strand that was used to purchase armor synthesis bounties from A to 1. In its place, bounties will be purchasable for 10,000 glimmer. That's probably the most important part of the TWAB. So I'm just going to prop this one up to Travis and let you.
Is Trav.
Yeah, this is all you, man.
He had the most classic last word rant.
Listen,
when this was announced. So the floor is yours.
They said that they were listening to the community. And I happen to know, I have insider information, as you guys know, that they were referring solely to my appearance in the last word when they said they've been listening to feedback.
Salute to Bungie.
Yeah. Cosmo messaged me and he was like, hey, man, we got the message. We get it. We're going to change it just for you, buddy. So, no, but seriously, I think this is awesome. It solves a few problems that I've had with this in general. What I think actually ended up being the biggest problem with the new system, which is the time gating, right? There was people discovered that there was that time gating where you actually had to be playing Destiny for like 10 hours to get 100 synth strands, and then that converted it to a bounty. So this solves that. I think that's a big one to get off of the list. And then they also mentioned in there, we're getting rid of one of the currencies, so you have more space for other currencies, which, like, does Destiny have way too many currencies? Yes. Is 4 currencies still too many for Transmog? Absolutely. But getting rid of one, especially the most annoying one, is not bad news. So this is great. I feel vindicated. 100% they did it because of my monologue, and yeah, I'm very happy. It's a good start. Now I just need to get them to kill maybe 1 or 2 more of those damn currencies, and we'll be in good shape. So. But yeah, I think this is a great. They did it faster than I thought they were going to do. They didn't even let the full season run. So hats off to them.
Apparently, their thing is test stuff for a season, then roll it back out. Because sunsetting, 3 months. This one, 3 months. But actually, I wanted to ask on a kind of a different take on this one. Transmog and kind of the Eververse as well for Khan. As an artist, all the work that you put in, I mean, obviously it's fair to pay artists for their time and things of that nature. It's like I've had people come and be like, hey, are you looking for any work? And I ask them the price. I'm like, I don't want to do you injustice. So it's like, it's better for me not to do anything right now. I'm not going to ask for a deal. I always feel awful doing that. Please pay an artist for their time. They're always worth it. Trust me. But that being said, what are your thoughts about just the way the Eververse seems to encroach, and everybody's, sometimes it's like, hey, we wish the cosmetics were outside of Eververse and more earnable in the game versus, how their business model and stuff like that. I was just kind of curious your thoughts on Eververse, and just as an artist perspective, how it all rings to you. I'm curious.
I hadn't had to invest any actual money into my transmog, because I only have one look. I only transmog one set of armor. I don't have a bunch of different looks. When it comes to Eververse, I'm like, it's not really changing the game. It's just their cosmetics. And if I really, really want something, I'll buy it. If I don't, I just let it pass. There's not many things I see like I need to have all of these things. Like in D1, I was a completionist because I had time and I was healing. And I'm like, you want to run a raid? I'm like, I don't have time to run a raid. How about I just play PvP for 5 hours? That's raid time. I didn't ask you for your opinion.
Now you won Travis back. You're good.
That's perfect. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to have those things. They don't make or break the game. And when Transmog came out, oh, that's exciting. And now I got all this. I've got every bounty I've ever run. I've got all this Synstrand and stuff and cord all piled up to the ceiling. I've transmog, literally all the blue, the blue armor I wanted to wear, and nothing else. So it all depends on how much you need to, how into dressing up your guardian is. I'm just like, If I want it, I want it. I mean, if you're funding the game. I mean, if I have all these extras on my website you can buy, and you don't need to have them, but it helps fund the cause of my business, and it helps fund like all the stuff I do for myself, and everything else I do with my my time. Why not? You don't need to have these things, but they're there.
Yeah, my problem with Transmog is that if they would have just said it's fully something you just have to pay for, I would have been more happy than what they ended up doing. Because what they ended up doing was being like, oh, I mean, you can earn it in game, but we're going to make it as annoying and confusing as possible so that you have to buy it. It's like, all right, at that point, just do us all a favor, just sell it to me then. Like, if that's how you want this to work, then just sell it to me. So I just think it does wonders to make it less confusing, and this actually makes it more
many
accessible.
steps as possible.
Exactly.
They need to stretch that content as much as they can.
Oh yeah.
Transmog.
Because if you get it like in one step, you're like, oh, what do I do now?
Yeah.
Transmogging a full set of armor had more quest steps than the Curse of Osiris. You know what I mean? Like that whole campaign had like 4 missions, and like transmogging a piece of armor has like 15 quest steps. It's ridiculous, man. So anyway, I'm starting to get the vapors again. I need to calm down.
No, you're good. You're good. You're big.
But they basically mentioned they're like, removing this currency also frees up a slot in the consumables inventory bucket, a bucket that could be full for those of you who are carrying around a large quantity of items. I'm like, why is the fact that my tab of consumables is ever close to full? There are too many things, so I'm glad to see one of them go. I still haven't even done the one bounty I picked up just because I haven't run that many Nightfall strikes. I haven't done one bounty. I picked up one bounty, and I'm probably just sitting on a bunch of synth strain. I should probably buy some random other bounties for like at least Crucible matches or something. But
the Crucible ones are super easy. I do them without even like knowing that I'm doing them. If you just hop into the Crucible playlist, you get it done passively. So
surprisingly, the raid ones are very easy. I try to raid. Shout out the Liz in there and Back for Dead, some ILP clanmates I'm seeing in there. It's really good because a lot of it is like fire team based and just like shooting things with different elements and stuff like that. But to the overall thing with Synth Strands, I'm still laughing at Travis' class. Synth Strands, Synth Weaves, like he went walked off screen. It was classic, man. But now look, it's good to see them get rid of an extra step, that unneeded step. I'm not gonna get them off the hook just yet, because to me, this was one of those things that it was really vocal by the community to say, we don't like this, right? The community was very up in arms. And look, we get it. It's cosmetic. We get it. The issue just came down to most games, in comparison, don't have this complex a system the way Bungie has added this system. And at the time, like me and you were talking, I've never seen, when the community was that outraged, them go completely silent and retract. Right. So to me, when I saw that action, I go, oh, this is from the higher ups. This is from the businessmen of Bungie. That's like, look, you're going to have to figure out a way to monetize this if we want to keep the lights on, respectfully. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, look, it's a business. I get it, kind of thing. So my prediction was they're really not going to roll much of this back. Right. So it's now, what is it, 3 months later, whatever. And it's like, oh, by the way, you know what, Synth Strand, we did realize that was a bit oppressive. So, we'll touch this one minute aspect of the thing and then go, okay, here's your victory. And I think that's what it really is. I think at the end of the day, look, this is a business. They're not beholden to Activision, which we will get into later. You know what I'm saying? Anymore. They're on their own. You know what I'm saying? Independent studio. And at the end of the day, I understand, the business aspect has to fund this stuff. In their defense, now that I've been playing it a lot, I've been doing these fairly easily without thinking, right? The bounty part. You know what I'm saying? So I will give that for the people, shout out to my other fellow warlocks. We are, shout out to IRL. Destiny is a game for some. I am that guy. I am ridiculous. I have an outfit for every subclass. I have a ship and a sparrow to match. Like, I'm the dude. Everything has to be lined up per, subclass. So I am ridiculous. But at the end of the day, it's good to see them do at least something. But E, I got to give it to you. Like, E, where you at with this whole thing, man?
I mean, it's a half step in the right direction. Mm-hmm. I mean, as you said, like, should this have been this way from the start? No, we asked for it for 7 years, literally out of the gate. Oh, look at all this cool armor. I want to dress up how I want. Transmog. 7 years later, we got the worst possible version I've seen in any game ever for Transmog. We did. And it's like, okay, so you got to go through this 150 thing. It takes you 25 hours or whatever to collect one set of armor for Synthstrand, then pick up the bounties. The bounties aren't that bad unless you get... The first bounty I bought is the 40 Nightfall Champions one. That's like the worst one. Mm-hmm. So it's like my first bounty is like, cool. Not that fun. And I haven't even just done as many Nightfalls. I've been doing other stuff. And it sounds like some of the other ones are not quite as bad. But it was just so egregiously over the top. As you said, if you want to do it fast, we're going to ask you to spend money. Or we're going to make it, as you said, one of the more ridiculous systems that we've probably made, when it could have been, we already have a collection system. There's literally pages of every piece of armor you've ever owned. Copy and paste that into the other one and just like turn, and you could, and it's like, it's already there, and they made it much, much worse than they needed to. And I think that was the issue, is like, you go in other games, cool, you got Transmog, click. We just turned it on. No, we turned it on with about 60 different switches, and you got to cross wires, and you got to do these other things. And it was just more convoluted when it needed to be, when it's something that could have been a nice gesture to the community. When you saw in the end, it was definitely a business decision. So when, unfortunately, now we're like, hey, we do not have to do the, time-gated farming part, which is fine. It's still, it's not the quality of life. Is it better? Yeah. Are the bounties that bad? Not all of them, it sounds like. You can, get there. And it's going to be much more manageable with 10,000 Glimmer, obviously, to pick them up during the course of a season. It's not that bad. But overall, it's like, it's still... Somebody, New Rat in chat also was just like, well, they also got their whales who really wanted it early. They got those knocked out. They cleaned out the whales. If any whales wanted to be like, all right, I'm just going to buy like 50 cent strand or 50. I don't even remember the currency that you use to actually buy it.
So many.
Synth weave,
right, Travis? Oh, okay.
Strand, cord, and then weave. I got to remember. Put them together.
Yes, cords. I forgot about those. Yes.
Yeah, Strands is gone, though. Now it's just cords and weave and Glimmer.
Yeah, so... Yeah, they still had, you can buy the Synthweave from Eververse. So the people they wanted to clean the pocketbooks out, they cleaned out the early birds.
Look,
and then a month, and then
rent is paid now.
I know, they paid the rent. Yep,
now they can focus on other things.
They got another month. Now we're going to season 15. It has been a very interesting year for what have been larger decisions between sunsetting, 3 months later, gone. Then we've got Transmog, something we asked for 7 years. 3 months later, stepping it back. And then I saw it in the community as well. Tassie was funny because he was like, just like quotations, like crying. It's like, we did it. We killed Synthstrand. Like, it was just a hilarious tweet because finally, that's the worst part of this whole process is Synthstrand.
It is.
But then on the other side, it's how many of these decisions, and it might have been Destin, honestly, I can't remember, Legary. If it's not you, sorry, but it seemed fitting. It was the point of like, how many times are they going to come out with something? The community is like, hey, some of this is pretty terrible. Can we have some changes? And then 3 months later, hey, we're going to change this thing. Like they have to commit to it as opposed to just, actually taking some of the feedback. The community doesn't always know what they want or what they need for that matter. We don't always know. Sometimes we do get them right, though, and this was definitely one of them. So it's good to see some change. Is it all the change that we'd hoped for? No, but it's the worst step out of there, so it's at least substantially better than it was. So I'll take that.
Yeah, I'm willing to give them this one just because, they're kind of damned if they do, damned if they don't sometimes. Bungie is, if they don't do anything, then people will go, oh, you're not listening to the community. You always say you're listening. And then if they do make a change, then the community's like, oh, wow, you just like kowtowed to the streamers who are asking you to bend your ways. So I'll give them this one. It's a step in the right direction, and it gets rid of the worst part of Transmog.
Yes.
Makes the process a little simpler. I will say one thing that I think they might end up taking away from this season is that the armor cap that they're putting in, which is 10 pieces per season. For this season, it was supposed to be double 20. I think the lesson they're gonna take from this is that oh, it's plenty. Nobody did their full allocation. Like, who here has gotten all 20 pieces of your earned transmog? Like, none of us, right? Like, I and we play the game more than most people, so I'm willing to bet that the percentage of people who got all 20 pieces is super small, and they're probably going to use that as a data point to be like, oh yeah, that 2 armor full armor sets limit, like nobody got the 10 pieces, so we can just leave that in place. But it's not representative, especially once you get rid of Synthstrand and it becomes about, you complete 10 bounties in one season and you're done. I'm hoping that that's not something that they take away from this, because that was my first thought was, I bet nobody got the armor like cap. I bet you it's just such a small percentage of the community. So that's one thing I'm worried about.
Right. And last point I'll say before we move on, it's a Khan's point, the reason why I don't go super hard on this one, like at the end of the day, it is cosmetic. It does not affect gameplay. So in that respect, even though other games have systems that are way easier, I'm gonna be nice because again, I do understand the
Bungie
business aspect. Listen, I gotta get my corporate hat on sometimes.
No, I'm just saying that's what
corporate car.
You'll literally go through the comments on the podcast. Oh, he's a Bungie shill. He's a Bungie apologist. And it's like you got to be balanced at some point, and that's why
you got to be balanced. At the end of the day, this is one of my favorite games, and I want them to exist, right? And if this helps exist and this helps give content, then yeah. You got to have some balance in the force. That's how I'm looking at it.
Bungie's got to make some money to keep making this game.
Yeah.
It seems.
And whatever they got to do to stay independent now, as we learned this week, it's probably worth whatever price.
Do we want to tangent off to that right now?
Let's just get to it.
You kind of open that sandbox. I'm going to let somebody else open the sandbox.
Oh, Travis, he's working for one of the biggest.
I'll do it. Yeah.
What's going on, man? Something's going on.
Yeah, something seemed to have happened with a previous friend of Division.
Yeah,
Destiny.
Activision Blizzard has Division. Did you just say Division?
Yes, I did.
Yes, he did.
This guy just mixed up Destiny with Tom Clancy's The Division.
Tom Clancy's X-Defiant. I'm sorry, Tom Clancy's X-Defiant.
X-Defiant.
You're killing me. He just confused the darkness with the darkness zone. This is wild. Anyway, Activision Blizzard, large company. Some people have heard of them. Some people play their games, Call of Duty, it seems to be doing all right. They Overwatch, I forgot about that one. It's been a while since I thought about that game. They are in a bit of hot water because the state of California is suing them for having a, quote, frat boy culture, and has a bunch of sexual harassment allegations and underpaying female employees and treating them pretty poorly, passing them over for promotions and all that stuff. Obviously, there's still allegations right now, but it sounds like it was like a 2-year investigation, and I'm sure probably will settle out of court because it's going to be a dumpster fire. But it's obviously really bad, and I'm sure Bungie, in fact, I know that they are because they're tweeting about it. But Bungie employees are definitely glad to have been kind of detached from that, and they couldn't have done it at a better time because now they're fully independent while this is all going down. But my 2 cents on the situation is it's probably a symptom of the industry in general. I'm sure it's not just Activision and also just all companies. I'm sure there's companies like this in every industry that have this sort of culture. But I don't know that anybody was surprised to hear this about Activision. If you've been to an E3 and rubbed elbows with some of these companies, you sort of get certain companies' vibes, and walking over to the Activision booth, you sort of get their vibe. Like, that's all I'll say about that company. So, I hope it turns out all right. But thank God Bungie isn't caught up in all this, and we're reading their tweets now and seeing how happy they are to be independent. So whatever they got to do, man. If you need to make more microtransactions to stick out of Activision Blizzard, I guess it was worth it. So that's my take.
Yeah, let's get Khan in it. Khan, do you get a chance to see any of the news in reference to what's been going on with this whole Activision Blizzard stuff?
Yeah, that was the topic of my comic yesterday. So I spoke on it. I haven't really been in line with like Blizzard Activision, since they had that fallout with that Chinese player. I think last year before last. I was after that, I was like, all right, I'm done playing Hearthstone. This is erased. So they've already like pooped the bed for me one time too many after they find that player. But this, I was like, am I surprised? No.
Sadly,
I'm just literally waiting for the next person, like they have this COD partnership or whatever, what's going on. Like, well, it's just an investigation. Doesn't mean they actually did it. I'm waiting for somebody to be defensive about Activision. I'm like, I know what's happening or it's going to happen, and then I'm going to be horrified. Because some people put their content career before being decent. So that's something I'm wary of, is people super deep into Activision's pockets and invested in being defensive of a culture of such horrid things. So it's a thing that it's not just a symptom of corporation or corporate society or the gaming society. It's just it's a symptom of a sick cult. It's just a sick society. It happens every place all the time. You just don't hear about it very often. Unless somebody comes out and then you're like, that person's lying. That's usually what happens. Until you find the video evidence, and then the emails pop up. I'm like, well, maybe I was wrong. So it's a sick world, and the more times this gets exposed, righteously gets exposed, the more we can move away from just being complete trash people. But until that happens, until people with power are held accountable, this is going to continue to happen.
Agreed.
I hope this is like one more step up the rung of like pulling ourselves out of the muck into the 21st century. We're still dealing with this. I'm just like,
yeah,
we're never going to reach Star Trek land. This is never going to happen. We're never going to be at this level of equity. It's just at this point we're just like, hey, are we still in the 1940s, 50s? This is like, it's just crazy to me. Yeah. But I mean, until somebody says something, speaks up more often, and has receipts, this is going to continue to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, this was tough to read. This was tough. Seeing the accounts and everything, and then the frat boy kind of culture kind of thing. I think the thing that disturbed me the most, regardless of anyone that says like allegations and stuff like that, one of the accounts of someone, a female losing her life and committing suicide, that really affected me, because at the end of the day, we could say allegations and all that one for people who want to be defensive, and that's fine. Wait till the facts supposedly all come out and stuff, and that's fine. But that's where it hit different. That's a different type of culture where if females are getting abused in that way and just objectified and stuff like that, there's nothing to defend that part. And I was shocked. I was shocked in the sense that it was so many different accounts, you know what I'm saying? And when you read them, like I said, they're just really upsetting. They're really upsetting. The people of color, being held back, just, people in authority, and a lot of what I consider grooming practices, you know what I'm saying? As far as, people who are holding position of authority to keep people, because let's be real, like for someone who now, is really more in touch with the industry, a lot of these positions are dream jobs. You work at Activision, Blizzard, you're making, and in the video game industry, there's really not a lot of them, right? So people can be put in positions where it's like, man, I this is my dream thing. I don't want to lose this, whatever. And to me, that's how the grooming and that's how this predatory, culture can start. So look, part of me is, is happy that stuff's out. And, I'm very curious. I'm going to monitor it to see what actually happens when the litigation, if, like Travis said, is it a quick settle, you know what I'm saying, kind of thing? Is it, I think Activision's initial statement was kind of defiant, kind of like, you know, they were refuting a lot of the stuff, and they were kind of like, look, you know, this is a gross misrepresentation. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. The last point I make before I give it to you, E, what I found very interesting is that this prompted other companies to be like, oh, yo, by the way, we don't do that here. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of not, if it's true, if they're not doing it or not, I just thought it was interesting that preemptively other companies are like, oh, by the way, we here at such and such do not approve of this, that, and the third. So that to me showed the ripple effect, right? That to me showed the impact of what's going on. And like I said, it'll be very curious to watch. But E, I definitely want to get, you know, your vibe, your feeling on everything that, you know, once everything, the accounts came out.
I mean, it's sad because you see it more and more in so many places. And when some people are like, are you surprised? And the sad answer is no.
No, yeah.
That's what you hate, is because, are you surprised this stuff happens? No, because it's not the first time we've already heard about it. Ubisoft still is another one that had a big story come out. And then even, you know, Schreier's article saying it's like, you know, people may be in power still. They may be going through like, quote, training or whatever you want to call it. But it just always seems and that's the hard part about somebody as big as Activision too. They're going to have all the money thrown into their legal department that they've ever had before. Because they're going to try and defend, as you said, settle out of court. So many of this is not going to be able to come publicly to light. And I mean, it's California, so it has chances of being public because it is actually just the state. But still, some of the stuff that you read, I mean, they've got receipts about promotions that they've been like skipped over for. Be like, hey, here's a marketing campaign of like, hey, I did more marketing campaigns. Every one of mine outperformed the other guy. He was still promoted above me. I mean, that unfortunately is something that happens all the time. And it's like, and as a white male guy here sitting talking about any of this stuff, I always feel slightly out of context in any of it. But it's like my wife always on the other side is always talking about so many different inequalities and things like that just for equal pay and things like that. And all of those things you read about just like documented over and over and over. And it's just everything to go, it's wrong. And I was like, that's why my part in the intro for Khan was like a short piece, because I didn't know if we were going to spend any time on it or not. But I want to just, it doesn't seem so hard to be decent to each other. It really doesn't. And you read this and I'm going, it's a whole culture that's been built up. And as you said, unless you can rip all of the negative people out of an organization, somewhere it's going to start breeding again and growing and all of those other things from the people that do remain. And that's the worst part, is because it's not going to go away unless you just completely close Activision and you build up another company. And no company is perfect. No one is perfect by no means. But on the sides where it's the stuff that you hear him talking about, as you said, the person who lost their life from going on a business trip, and then the other counterpart brought like things with them to like very much indicate their intentions for that trip. And they're just like, and you know, sitting around the office and drinking around the office and passing on work while they go play video games. Just all the things that you read. I'm like, it's not that hard to try and pull your weight at work. And then especially to be about the worst bad way about it as well to anyone else, whether it be male, female, person of colors. It doesn't matter. It should not be that hard to try and, as you said, they're dream jobs. It's a place they really want to be. And then another movie that made me think of it is Bombshell. I don't know if you guys watched that one. That is to a point they want to be that like head, you know, Dateline, that face reporter that they want to be. But what they have to go through to get to that position, it's terrible. And until people, and that's the worst part of all is, Khan, as you said, it's like until enough people are going to actually stand up, talk about it, and on the other side, people are going to believe them because you're waiting for that defense to come up to be like, well, you know, because and you're just like, it's hard enough for typically any female in those situations to speak up about it. It's hard enough to go through a traumatic experience and have them speak up about it in the first place. But then when everything's always met with disbelief in anything else, it makes it that much worse. So no, it's a terrible story to read. And sadly, it's not surprising because it's in a lot of places. I think Alana Pierce had a video about her experiences in different companies and stuff like that she's seen. People had a wager of who got to sleep with her first. So it's like, I mean, you don't even know what she didn't mention the company. She's not going to do that. But it's just everybody. I was like, unfortunately, not all guys. And that's why my wife is like, I'm happy I found like a nice one. But it's like, So I don't know so often what happens, why so many, typically males, are dumb asses, and I'll use the curse today, so I'll do it for you, Khan. But I was like, I just don't get it. So that's mine, and I don't even have any perspective on it, but I hate seeing it because you try and be decent, but I'm like, I don't feel like I have any place to try and fix this situation when a giant corporation is awful to people. It's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Travis, you was going to jump in?
Yeah, I was just going to say, because it's come up a few times about, whether or we should believe this or not and that sort of thing, right, because they're allegations. But for anybody who's trying to be like level-headed and say like, oh yeah, well, I'm not going to assume anything until it's proven in court. That can be a really tricky trap to fall in. And it's one that actually plays toward corporation strengths, because no corporation rarely ever is actually going to let something like this go to court, because they would lose more money. So even if it didn't happen, they're going to settle out of court. And if they settle out of court, all of the stuff that they're being accused of doesn't become a matter of public record. And so on one hand, you have, what Cog said, Activision saying, hey, this is totally absurd, this never happened. And then on the other hand, you have them paying out of court. And so if you say, oh, I'm just going to wait until this all shakes out, you're never going to get your answer 9 times out of 10, probably more than that. And so I'm all for innocent until proven guilty. I actually think people on the internet are too quick to pitchfork. But when something like this, you're dealing on one hand people who feel like they've been wronged, and on the other hand, a faceless corporation that no single person actually represents. And so I think if your tendency is to side with Activision and consider the corporation innocent until proven guilty, I would just say that like maybe your priorities are a little off, because you're not really defending anybody, right? If I work at Activision and I read a story like this, I also would probably be equally outraged and want probably even more for the company to do better. And so I think that there's a very little wrong that can come of this, other than Activision as a corporation has to pay money for something that maybe they're not responsible for. Which I don't think that that's the worst thing in the world, because Activision's got money, and on the other hand, you're dealing with people and their livelihood and their futures and all that stuff. So that's one point I wanted to make. The other point was, first of all, IGN's reporting team, got to give a shout out to them, because they did some really great work on this. Joseph Knoop and some other people on covering this sort of thing. That's a really tough topic to cover. And this, I think in general, the games industry has been pretty good about documenting some of the problems with its industry, which I'm personally proud of, because I think we have a really unique problem in the games industry, which is that it's an extremely young industry. Yeah. And some of the people a lot of the people that make up the teams, they are right out of college, right? Or they have that younger energy. Preach. And so
I'm glad you said this. I was about to go there.
Yeah. This sort of culture, I feel like it's easy. It's not something that I think is like set up by the powers that be. They go, okay, here's how we're going to do it. All the guys get promoted and, all that stuff. But I think it's something that sneaks up on you because everybody's just having fun. And I've worked at lots of companies in this industry that like drinking is part of the culture and hanging out. And then you've got friendships that form, and people obviously want to promote their own friends. And so it's something that develops over time. And I would just say this is a really good cautionary tale for any youthful cultured company in the games industry to sort of self-reflect and stop for a sec and investigate the way that they're doing things. And I think that this is good to do every once in a while. Like IGN had to do it when the Black Lives Matter thing happened and start looking at who was in charge at their company. And it's not something where you go, okay, well, let's only hire white people. But like after time, you kind of have to look at your roster and go, all right, well, do we have some maybe unseen biases? Are we doing stuff? And and I think that these touch points throughout the industry, they are really useful at making these companies sort of look at their own culture and fix it before it becomes a problem or course correct. And so I view this as a good thing for the industry, and also think that we should have empathy with the people that say that this is happening to them, right? And maybe not defend the corporation. You can still say, look, I'm going to buy Activision games, but on the other hand, you shouldn't dismiss people that I think are probably genuinely dealing with some stuff. So anyway, that's my diatribe. I'll get off my soapbox.
No, you're in your bag. I'll finish. I'll be quick because you touched on some points too. I mean, we were fortunate to have Jason Schreier on Arnold's podcast, and his book Press Reset in reference to the games industry. And you made a valid point. Especially from the youth involved. And obviously the female perspective, right? In the games industry and things that they go through, and being that there's not a lot of options, and especially like you say, whether it be young or you're just getting started in your career, you want to do everything you can to impress and make a mark. And because again, access is limited, all these things are limited to these positions, fostering these cultures, what I'm saying? These kind of situations that we're reading about. And we need systemic change in the games industry. It's just what it is. And especially with the volatility of the industry, a lot of these games, there's more misses than hits, and studios close down and stuff like that. So again, all this adds to that pressure of, I got to try to do what I got to do to stay and survive. And then situations can arise, right? So there's still, I know he's big on unionization, in the games industry and stuff like that. This, what I'm hoping, sets off a platform of real discussion to implement real change to affect developers, everyone in the industry, so that, look, I love video games, man. I hate hearing about this type of stuff, and these are the kind of things that would make me shy away from trying to get a job in the industry, because you're like, yo, who wants to deal with any of this kind of stuff? So it's a good talking point, Travis. I think you made fantastic points there.
One other thing I wanted to say before we close this up is I actually don't think working in the games industry is a dream job. I think like whether it's this sort of culture stuff and the hours that they have to work, I think it's a dream industry, but I think the vast majority of people working in this industry do not have dream jobs. And I don't think it's super helpful to say that like, oh, it's a dream job. Like, this is something that you guys should be happy with. It's sort of,
to some they think so though.
It's a little bit of defeatist, but yeah, they sort of need to. I mean, obviously we all want to work at Bungie, but even when you get the job working at Bungie, you're not, unless you're Luke Smith, you're not doing all the things that you want to do at that job. So I just think, maybe they should get a little bit more credit for the fact that they're out there grinding too. Those jobs aren't easy, most of them. So
no, I was just going to wrap it up reading what Bungie tweeted, so you guys can hear their piece.
Let's do that.
That's great.
Let's do that.
Bungie is built on empowering our people, no matter who they are, where they're from, or how they identify. We have a responsibility to acknowledge, reflect, and do what we can to push back on a persistent culture of harassment, abuse, and inequality that exists in our industry. It is our responsibility to ensure this type of behavior is not tolerated at Bungie at any level, and that we never excuse or sweep it under the rug. While the accounts in this week's news are difficult to read, we hope they will lead to justice, awareness, and accountability. We have a zero-tolerance policy at Bungie for environments that support this toxic culture, and we are committed to rooting them out to defend those who are at risk. Women, people of color, and underrepresented communities have nothing to gain by reliving their trauma. We believe them when they come forward with reports of abuse or harassment. We don't pretend that Bungie is perfect and that no one has experienced harassment while working here, but we will not tolerate it and will confront it head on, and we will continue to do the work every day to be better. Our goal is to continue to improve the experience for everyone working at Bungie and do our part to make the gaming industry as a whole to be more welcoming and inclusive. So,
cool.
Thought that was pretty well said. Again, nobody's perfect. They're trying their best. Of course, as you said, you never know what's happened before, what happens behind the scenes, what's not reported. But again, doing what they can, being very quick to head it off, that's trying to do at least everything they can is their goal. So it's good to see Bungie usually trying to do the right thing.
No doubt.
It's one of the reasons why it's a little easier to support this game sometimes. Moving on from that very, very slightly heavy topic, to say the least. Yeah, it's kind of hard to move on, but we got to. So we've got some changes as we go back into the TWAB to Nightfalls. So they have double your fun. Next week, Nightfalls will feature double rewards. We'll also have a mixed bag of rewards, as the Palindrome, the Swarm, and Shadow Bryce will all be dropping. So everything is on the menu, and with double rewards, it's the opportunity to Basically pick up the rolls if you're looking for either adding them to your collection or hopefully getting a better roll. And then they said, speaking of Nightfall rewards, starting in Season 15, the Nightfall weapon rotation will be changing. Instead of 6 weapons in the 1-1-1-3 weeks, as they have currently for the second half of the season, they will have 8 total weapons in pairs consisting of 1 newer and 1 older weapon. You might remember the new weapons being reprised from Destiny 1 as a hilarious shotgun and a rocket launcher that was the ultimate reward for doing the longest Crucible quest. Each week, one of these new weapons will be featured alongside another weapon already in the pool. So, for example, week 1, Comedian and Shadow Price. Week 2, the Hothead and Hung Jury. So the additions this season will have a spicy perk combinations typical in Nightfall Loot, including a couple of perks not seen on archetypes in the past. So, back to a bit more of the game topic after the heaviest conversation of the day. Thoughts on the Nightfall rewards? Do you guys kind of like the way they're switching this up? Do you guys go after any of these Nightfall rewards in general, or where are you guys at on these?
Get Conan, man. Where you at with the Nightfall stuff?
I only chased one gun, so I'm done. I only went after the plug one.
Plug? No doubt.
Which one? Oh.
Yeah.
Plug one.
That was the fusion rifle I used in D1 where I will consistently get six. I will get team wipes with that one, so it's not the same as it was, but it brings back old memories.
Nice.
And I got a hung jury, but it was like, scouts aren't that great right now.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe someday, but right now,
hung jury isn't even that good among scout rifles.
No, it's not. But shotguns and rocket launchers, I'm like, I can't use shotguns. I'm terrible. I got a field winters. I couldn't kill you if you were face to face with me from a foot away. If I fired a field winter in your chest, you would live through it and kill me.
That's impressive, actually. That sounds like it takes more skill.
Not the play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's never been good. I've never had luck with shotguns.
So what do you use? What? Just curious, out of your loadouts, like when you going in the PvP, like what's the con loadout?
Oh, Sturm, Plug One, and Crowd Pleaser.
Oh, okay, all right. I see the vision. Okay,
It's got chain reaction on it, so it's. And you play control, you get one or two. It's gonna spark a flame. You're like, whoa, look at that, like popcorn.
That's an addiction when you get one of those off for sure. Oh, it reminds me of what's the exotics sniper, the Cloud Strike. When you get one of those off, those feels good too. As far as like the chain, reaction kill kind of thing. That's what's up. No doubt.
Oh
Trav,
God,
man.
I've been killed by that in trials. Somebody gets a Cloud Strike shot on you and it just kills the whole team. It's brutal.
That's what I need. I need that back on my golden gun. I need combustion back on golden gun. I need that combustion back.
No doubt.
Yeah, for the changes, I like that they're expanding the loot pools for Grandmaster Nightfall. Again, I still think that there's underlying issues with this being the end game activity you do if you're into PvE. Arguably, like Grandmaster Nightfalls are way more rewarding than raids, which is still crazy to me. And the other reasons I've already talked about on the show like 50 times, so no need to retread those. But you know what my issues are with them. To me, the whole double rewards thing they keep doing in Nightfall, it's just like, you know how when they're out of content, they just do Iron Banner like every other week? That's what it feels like. Like, you know that the season's almost over and that you're out of content when they keep telling you, yo, we got double rewards in the Nightfall this week. It's not something that I think is super compelling content. It's just like, all right, we're out of stuff to do. For those of you who didn't do Grandmaster Nightfalls, hop in here and do it all this week. So I will probably not be doing this. I'm still behind because I've been reviewing games. I haven't even upgraded my blue armor to purple for the
for the solstice.
The solstice. I still have blue armor. I don't think I've completed a single piece of armor, gotten it to purple yet. So I need to do that, and then I can see what else is up with Destiny. But yeah, I haven't had a ton of time for Destiny reviewing 2 40+ hour RPGs back to back.
Yeah, you've been a little busy.
a little busy. But yeah, I think it's a minor improvement. It's good, but yeah, I still all my problems from previous episodes still apply with Nightfalls and where they sit in the end game and all that stuff. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah. double your fun. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I really wasn't inspired too much. Obviously when hung jury and all that stuff, I'm like, okay, cool. But this is reprisal stuff, and I'm trying not to be super negative, but it's just I'm not that excited. And then the way the perk combinations, work, I feel like there's a lot of the stuff they've added in the perk, like now that they bring them back, like they've added so many perks in each column that trying to get a god roll now is like, really crazy in his activities. And again, to Travis's point, I think that truly inspires, like, we don't have a lot of content, so keep playing it to keep trying to get better rolls as opposed to, more of those condensed, maybe 6 to 8 perks or whatever it is per, gun that we're normally getting. And yeah, I just, to me, it's just trying to force engagement again. And, look, comedian, I remember it. I don't even remember how that, surprisingly, that's weird. Do you guys remember that?
I feel like it was almost yeah, it was like, it was a long quest.
Yeah.
It was not great from what I remember. Like I would use something else.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm like, I'm like, wow, what is that? I guess I'm curious about it just to see, saying what archetype, and, obviously rocket launchers are in a good place right now. So obviously it's just interesting. I was just like, damn, I don't remember that one at all. But
well, then it's like you have a whole new weapon, Cock.
Yeah, for me, right? But at the end of the day, it's just like, yeah, I'm with you, Trav. I'm like, this still ain't in-game content for me, you know what I'm saying, kind of thing. And I'm trying to be nice, but I just don't. I'm not pumped when I saw this. But E, what you got, man?
I mean, at least for the rotations, it gives each week a little more value. Because if somebody's trying to farm Shadow Price, then cool. But if they don't care about Shadow Price, they're like, okay, maybe I won't even mess with Nightfalls too much this week. Don't even really need to put a group together. Hunger, as you guys said, scouts are, if you got a decent one, you're good, Nate. At least it gives you a little more variety in your week. If you're going to go play a few, you might get a little more. So that's not a bad thing. I'm with you guys, though. For me, it's like, hey, what are we getting for Nightfall rewards? More old stuff. I mean, it's more reissues. If you want to see somebody's thoughts on reissues, go look at Cool Guy's video on Tranquility. Literally says, do not use this. It's like, the perks in Tranquility are trash. And unfortunately, from a gun that some people really enjoyed, to bring it back in the state that it is now, you're seeing them kind of pull away and reissue some things in a worse state than they were before.
Yes.
And that's almost going the wrong direction in a weird way that I almost don't know if I expected for them to kind of manage their balancing in that way. But I guess I also kind of expected it a little bit. But I have, like, for example, I have a Retold Tale.
Yeah.
Shotgun from Dreaming City. And my roll on that thing is fantastic. I still don't know if I even have the thing, but I probably do somewhere buried. And I loved it. It was a shotgun that felt pretty good to me. It had like the roll. I mean, it was rifled barrel, range masterwork, quick shot. It was just about everything I could ever need. And I'm an okay PvP player. So for me, I'm like, good. Doesn't have to be 5 out of 5. It's probably 4 out of 5. But I'm like, I got that so long ago. They sunsetted for 3 months. And then they go to reissue it. And I'm like, I'm not going to go try and get the same thing I've already got. And I was like, I told you guys when Go Figure comes back as a reissue. And I'm waiting for it to do it.
Oh, you know it's coming back.
You know it's coming back.
Your dad bod gun is coming back.
Yes.
Dad
yes,
bod
I do.
post.
But I was like, when that thing drops again, I'm just going to be... I'm sure it will feel like the same gun. But I was like, for me to get the roll that I got twice, I got a really good one. And I got one like the squeak better than the really good one I already had. I'm like, I don't want to go for it again. So for me, it's to the point of the in-game stuff for old weapons kind of leads me to where I'm going next is at this point, I'm waiting for Witch Queen. Because I know season 15, I'm going to enjoy the story. It's fine, but I'm going to grind Nightfalls every other week for like 6 months. No. I'm waiting for Witch Queen to put new stuff in the game. Because this, again, tells us reissues are still what they're putting weight into and what they have time for at this point. It's like the model's already built. I know there's definitely work to bring it into D2, mess with the perks and make sure it's balanced for the game. Feels kind of right, but
existing assets.
But yeah, existing assets are there, and it's. But also, again, we don't need to rehash sunsetting, but it is the more we see this stuff, I will be curious to see how it goes. We're bringing D1 stuff up. We've got D2. How many new things are we going to get in Witch Queen? We're hoping a lot to make it feel fresh. But we also hope that those new weapons have some fun perks on them, because if they do a tranquility to the new sniper, then we're going to be really sad if the new Witch Queen sniper is, tranquility level perks or something. We're going to be less thrilled about going into the new game with stuff that's not quite as fun. Yo, what's up, Destiny Show?
Hello.
So, I mean, for me, it's like, it's nice to see a little variety in the Nightfall grind. But I mean, yeah, you guys get hung jury. I see the rapid hit Firefly. I'm like, cool. For a scout rifle, it's probably not too bad. Might put in some work. I have a Night Watch that's plenty. It's like outlaw explosive rounds or something. It puts in enough work for what I use it for. But I mean, scouts aren't great. We know that hopefully we'll be seeing something. Certain auto rifles are okay.
Just been coming.
Yeah, and it's like Hothead could get some. I will say the perks on rocket launchers seem to at least be giving them a little bit more fun, because they finally are bringing them up, so they're trying to give them some life. But again, we're finally waiting now for machine guns to get their love that they need. So when those actually get a little love, we'll see if those get some perks. So it's interesting to see the way they're like sunsetting, reissuing with worse perks to do their weird version of balancing again. It seems to be what we're watching them subtly do. If you're not that deep into it, you may not notice. But if you're like watching, like, cool guy saying tranquility sucks now, that's when you're like, hey, this gun's back. Don't even worry about it. That takes one less thing out of your grind. And if you see it drop, you're like, oh, well, that's not going to be good. So, yeah, it's just one of those for me. It's like, again, we're half steps as I keep waiting for next year. It's kind of where I am on some of that stuff.
Season 15 really seems like it's going to be the awkward teen year of Destiny. Like,
to be honest, to be brutally honest, like literally the thing I'm most excited about that next season is crossplay. like I'm not even hyped whatever the content, because I'm dreading, because of that long gap now that we know Witch Queen is back. And then when you see these kind of things, again, I'm trying not to be disrespectful, because I know content takes time and stuff like that, but I always look at this is they're trying to stretch things as much as possible until they're really ready. And we talked about this before, E, at many times, where it's just like, you jump in, you do what you got to do, and there's other games to play too also. You know what I'm saying? If you're completely dissatisfied, there's no need to continue. My days of me getting angry and all furious about it, that's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? I know what's happening here. I know that I read the temperature in the room. This type of reissue stuff, again, all this stuff screams, we're just trying to stretch this thing out as long as possible, with as far as the easiest path possible. I'm not a developer, not saying it's so easy to bring Comedian back and all that stuff, but we know it's easier than making new guns. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. So I just look at it like, look, this is what it is. You know what I mean? I log in my Tuesday, I get what I get done, check the TWAB. I'm always going to be huge for my sandbox and my PvP stuff, Trav. We're always going to get excited. Yep. I'm going to jump in there. I'm not going to go crazy. And I'm with E. I think the changes that we truly want are hopefully going to be Witch Queen. Those experiences are usually the transformative, gameplay altering experiences where they truly tinker with the sandbox and add stuff and maybe subclasses. And then we get that reinvigoration again that we all truly want, from the game.
Yeah. And it gives them 6 months or so to figure out crossplay, because I actually think that's going to be a bigger disruption.
That's going to be huge. That's going to be huge. Yeah. It's going to bring people together.
Other games have almost not survived implementing crossplay, and I can't even imagine how difficult it's going to be for Destiny. It's such a large game with so many different platforms they support and that sort of thing. What'd you say?
Nothing.
No, now you got to say it.
Outrageous.
Oh.
Yeah, crossplay is not easy, man. And I think with some of the other stuff, I think it's actually a blessing in disguise that we're not getting crossplay at the same time. We're getting the Witch Queen, and they're going to have some time to work out the kinks.
It's time to work out the kinks.
Yep.
And also the fall, we're going to get to play Halo without having to worry about how that's going to overlap with Witch Queen. And I just think like this is going to end up working better for everyone. Like a spring release of Destiny allows me to focus on that probably rather than, the crazy review season and all the stuff that's coming out in the fall. That's going to be crazy. Mostly Halo, if I'm being honest. But I think it's it'll be fine, and maybe Ebontis Cog, maybe you guys will end up playing more Destiny than you think, because now Ebontis can play with us on Xbox Cog. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna get to play together,
bro. So. I can't wait that day. Like I said, I've been more on Xbox now that the series consoles have been out. E's always gonna be mouse and keyboard to the death, but it's gonna be so cool to see that implementation. You know what I'm saying? And just that is gonna be cool. Doing strikes together. Yo, you want to run this Nightfall? What's up? Throw me in the backpack. E, give me this Grandmaster. Let's go. Solo this. Do the work.
Yeah. And I can get my clan.
I gotta practice on those GMs. I can take you through basically any dungeon, other stuff.
I can't wait for the free stuff. No,
Cog and I are just gonna be sitting in the lobby chatting on Xbox Live, and we're gonna be like, carry us. You can get through this Grandmaster Nightfall by yourself.
He's a savant. I defer to him. This man, let me tell you how much of a real sidebar real quick. Like my first dungeon, like Shattered Throat, like literally, it was the most free loot I have ever got. Like just watching E work solo content, I'm like, yo, you do this by yourself? You're like, yeah, just stand over there, do this, do that. Fine, E, no problem. Whatever we got to do to get it done.
I mean, for Shattered Throne, I spent, and it's the ogre room that sucks in there. It does.
Yeah,
for any solo set.
You did your thing, though.
But I was like, when you figure that one out by yourself, I'm like, I know exactly how in my mind this room needs to work. So basically, all I want you not to do is not mess up my plan. That's all I need you to do is like, don't kill stuff too fast and kick this sequence off. Otherwise, I'm in trouble and then I can't do what I typically do. But it's like, if I can set it up and do what I need to do, pick off stuff, like, I can take you through a dungeon. That's not hard. So
where you want this well of radiance? Where you want it?
Yeah. I was like, put the well here. No, next time, put it over here. Put it like shooting the ground, like here, right here.
He had to shoot the ground and tell me the specifics, but it was funny. No. But yo, shout out to him, man.
That's great. We'll just sit around and talk while you run the solo dungeon and get us that free loot, and then in return, we'll introduce you. E, I don't know if you know this. There's a whole other planet you can visit called Mercury. In a place called the Lighthouse.
You guys can carry me to the Lighthouse.
Him in a backpack for people.
You guys carry me to the Lighthouse.
Yes.
We'll take
I'm gonna need that Lighthouse carry. I will help. I'm not going to be one of those who's like, I'm literally sitting in the backpack facing the other direction. Like, I will shoot some things. I'm just not going to be the one who can. I'm not going to be top of the leaderboard. If I do, it's because I had like one lucky round. But it's like, believe me, I'm not completely useless, but I'm also not going to be the one who is like, I'm not going to be the one who ensures we win like the round of trials. That's something you don't want to put on my back.
No, you be putting in your work. We played again. You're very humble. You put in your work. I remember doing that. We were doing the mountaintop days, and you were in your grenade launcher kill bag, and this man was beelining to the heavy faster than I ever seen. But that's another story. But
that's for a quest, man. You had to do it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Salute to you. You knew where the heavy spawns were, and you were ready. But anyway, he was putting in his work. He always shout out to IRL Titan. He's like, I'll carry you. Yo, bro, I need that lighthouse carry. What's up, man? Yeah. PC guys, I need you guys, man. I need that carry. Travis,
I don't need it, but yeah, we'll help you. Yeah, I'm mostly excited for a crossplay I can play with Destin, some people in my clan, Brian Malkowitz, and all that. I haven't been able to play with because I can't play on PC, man. I can't play with those cheaters in Crucible. Yeah. I can't do it.
What about you, Khan? Like, are you looking forward to crossplay to just kind of open up who you play with? You got any friends you're looking to jump back in with? Anything crossplay is going to do for you? As I know that's probably a big thing they're going to lean on next season.
I play at weird times, and it's kind of hard to coordinate with people. So when I sign to Destiny, I solo queue comp. That's all I do.
Casually, just solo queue comp. What do you do? I just solo comp to 5,500. It's fine.
I love comp is my stress relief.
Yeah, honestly, solo queue and comp is very zen. Solo comp is fun. It is great.
If you're playing control, it's like I'd rather play comp. Because control is a nightmare.
Can be.
What a shout out back for there real quick. He actually made a good point in reference to the crossplay party chat. Yes, I agree. I want there needs to be a solid way, for everyone to be able to chat together. I mean, obviously,
chat. Come on, guys, game chat. It works perfectly.
I'm just gonna tell everybody to get in Discord. That's the easy part. You can get Discord on your phone. You can get Discord just about anywhere.
Try telling a console player to get on Discord. Try telling them that.
Yeah, because it's not implemented.
I got buddies on console that they've got break your phone out. I have buddies who play on console.
That's what I said. Yeah, it's like just get download Discord on your phone. Here you go.
You
then you have
casual
terrible
console
audio.
dudes that add an extra device. These lazy guys,
Dude,
casual guys.
you have
ain't
no
driving
idea.
their phone.
Cog and I are the only ones who understand all the problems here. One, console players are not about to get out their phone and do Discord. It just is very hard to do. And two, then you've got the problem of they're using Discord on their phone. So what are they using as their audio device? A wired headphone that they got out of a cereal box or their AirPods, and it's just like complete tin can quality in the chat. You can hear them breathing and eating and vaping and all the stuff that they do that annoys the crap out of me. And then they have no mute button because they're not using a like full headset, so they can't even mute themselves while they eat their, a bowl of Wheaties, and you just have to listen to that nightmare. So
right, I'm gonna be the bougie. I'm gonna be
playing with.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
This is the console life,
dude.
See, you guys are master race.
rude.
You two are master race.
No.
Thank
I played
you,
on
Con.
console up until December of last year.
All
so
right,
I
Con.
hear that console master race.
Honestly, I'll say
let's talk
PC
about
players
these
are
console
just
guys
as
that you
rude.
gonna get the Discord, because the console guys, I know they not pulling out.
All of my friends that
that
were my clan had Discord.
But those are your people. They are ingratiated with you. That is not the casual, brother. I'm telling you. The casual guy, you can be like, yo, let's get on Discord. Why can't we stay in Xbox Live party chat? Why can't we stay in
What's
the PSN?
Discord?
I'm telling you, they're a savage bunch.
I'm just wondering who's eating Wheaties in this man's ear. Like religious.
Oh my
That's
god, dude, you would not believe it. There's
It's
this
got to
guy
be grape
who's
nuts
just
to be that loud. You got to be chewing on gravel if you can hear it or something.
There's only one person in my clan that would he would like play like. It's like he's playing like the Blade soundtrack in the background. We're playing like sixes. I'm like,
oh, there's always that guy. There's like, yeah.
blasting like the techno industrial metal right now. What is going on?
D Flawless needs to do a skit about this, because there's the guy who's playing music super loud out of his old like boom box that sounds like it's halfway across the room and you can only hear every other lyric. And then there's the guy who's vaping really loudly, just like you're playing in party chat with Lord Vader with his his breathing box machine on. You got the guy who's just eating crisps the whole time. Dude's just popping chips and crunching your ear.
Bro, there's the guy in my clan that got his AC on too close to the AC.
That's a huge one. The dude who's
Console
having a
life is
conversation with his housemate, and he's like, "Yo, we gonna get Carl's Jr. later?" And you're just like, "Dude, shut the." I'm trying to run a raid with you. Shut up. Like, the
meatloaf.
I never know what she's doing up there.
I don't understand that life.
Yeah. Con, you need to get off your Mongol throne and come down with us plebs, because we dying out here. We are
I was
suffering.
playing on Xbox One until December of last year, so I'm just saying.
No, I'm not even saying. I disagree with Cog that this is a console problem exclusively. It happens on PC too. It's literally, you just got to play with people you trust. And like for me, everything annoys me. I'm just super neurotic, and so like anytime somebody does something, I'm like, I'll mute him. I'll mute him. I don't need to hear him. Like it's just
Actually, I take that back. I did. Somebody did invite me to play like some comp with him, and I know the person that invited me, and the person. Our third was just like nonstop like vaping, and it was like God. They were like their mic was like the vape. I don't know if they were vaping out of the mic or what was going on, but it was like
yeah, dude. Vaping is so loud on Xbox. The other archetype I forgot to mention is the guy.
This is Discord. This is like Discord. On PC.
Wow.
I was like,
oh wow.
Oh, so how is that even possible? That's even crazier.
I don't know what
he's just doing, like in his. I've got a little mic separation here, and he's vaping in between.
I think he had like a jewel themed like mic. It must have been like a mic that was,
he was
produced
vaping out of the mic.
Vape out of the mic.
Vape mic.
I don't know what was going on.
The other archetype is the guy who's got the mic in his mouth or in his nose, and you can just hear him breathing. I hate that one. That's maybe the worst one. You can hear his wheezy nasal passages just in the mic, and you're like, dude. Take that mic and just move it over here. Why are you eating it, dude? Why is it in your full mouth? Like, my God.
What I'm hoping for is, I'm sorry,
No, you're good.
No, I was just going to say what I was, the meatloaf, shout out to Ty, you know what I'm talking about. What I'm hoping for is, look, I agree with you, E. I agree with you, Khan. Discord is the way to go, right? And I'm just hoping, we know PlayStation did the deal with them, right? In some capacity,
they're working on something with Discord. We don't know what.
Partnership, yeah.
Please, console manufacturers, let's have a Discord app option for console guys, right? So this way, it's more of a seamless integration, because I'm telling you, console guys like it very simple. And I think it's the de facto platform, that PC guys use, and it's really efficient, at the end of the day. So that's what I'm hoping. And they really get it figured out. I'm very curious to see how Bungie implements it. Also, I want to know how lobby structure is, as far as getting people in and stuff like that. I've got confidence in Bungie, because they did cross save, I thought, pretty well. I want to give them credit on that. I thought they did a good job of handling that. So I'm very curious to the implementation, and I'm ready though. Just to I
think it's going to be
messy?
Really fragmented. I think it's going to be messy. I think Discord is going to have a partnership with Sony, but I think that will take forever to actually become a thing. And I think it even when it does, you're going to have PC to Discord figured out, or PC to PlayStation. But then PlayStation to Xbox, there's going to be that gap, because Xbox does party chat, and Xbox is going to have. Xbox already has party chat on PC, so that will be fit. That's already a thing that exists. That's a good point.
The PlayStation Xbox dynamic.
They're both going to be connected to PC, but they're not going to be able to connect to each other, and that's going to be the brutal part. So I think it'll be messy.
Which then comes the reliance of game chat.
And it's trash quality. It's always bad.
But of course it is, because it's one game, dude. Like Discord, all they do is communications. That's their whole company. You're saying you want Bungie to make a game and run a Bungie store, and also now they do like communications professionally. Like, this shouldn't be something developers have to worry about. Like, console owners need to get out of their way. And I'm sure this is something they're already thinking about with cross play games becoming more and more common. But like, I just don't think that there's a good solution right now.
I mean, to see that PlayStation was actually talking to Discord is really good, because Discord is the gaming community for pretty much the entire PC population. It's the way to go.
Well, everybody's talking to Discord. Microsoft tried to buy them this year. Everybody
wants to. Don't even talk about Nintendo. God, don't even do that.
I seen Destiny show through it, and I was like, no, we're not going to do that today.
Nintendo's like, what is Discord? We've not heard
the biggest thing I'm going to say. I'm just going to be bougie. If I'm on Twitch or streaming and somebody wants to play with me, if your audio setup is like a mess and you're like, if you sound awful in my ears, that's it.
Ew. Are you CrossPlay?
What I'm gonna say is, hey, skip a couple of meals out at restaurants, buy you a reasonable headset, make life easier. That's all you got. Invest in a headset. If you want to jump into some chats, buy a decent headset, especially with Bluetooth. If you can get one with Bluetooth, pair it with your phone, Discord, and also have a wired option, they don't even have to be that expensive. Buy a reasonable headset with a mute button. Obviously, by the way, did you guys see Glad's tweet about the mute button?
No, what he said?
Oh, shit. If you have a wireless headset, did anybody in chat see what I'm talking about? If you have a wireless headset, mute your mic when you go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Dudes be loose.
Dude, some people don't mute themselves while they go to the bathroom on purpose, just so that you can hear it.
Con's wondering. Con has a question.
He's like, oh, I don't even know what's happening right now.
Why would you take your headset into the bathroom?
Oh my God. People do
That's
it way
step
more
one.
People do it more than you think, sir.
Who says they're paying in the bathroom? You ever been on a day one raid?
So disgusting.
Wireless headset gang I
don't need to hear anybody talk to me while I'm in the bathroom. If nothing's that important. I could be at home and like, oh, she's having the baby. I'm like, well, I gotta go to the bathroom. And I'll put the headset down. I'm not gonna be listening to who is delivering the baby. I don't need to hear it. I do not need to hear it. It's not that important. This is the winning lotto numbers. Don't need to hear this. There's no reason ever to take your headset into the bathroom.
Ebontis doesn't even get off stream when he goes to the bathroom.
Oh my God! Yes, I do.
He brings the camera, a green screen behind the toilet. The green screen.
I'm just shuddering to think just where that like just the headset in the splash zone like it cakes up over like if you go to the bathroom often with your headset on, like how much is on there for like 30 or 40 days.
Well, I mean, yeah, some of those particles are floating in the air. You bring them out of the bathroom with you. I mean, yeah.
You shower your body like 3-4 times a week, but your headset, you're like, oh, wipe it off like once a. Do you wipe my headset off? No, you don't.
I do.
This man does.
Wet wipes. Dude, I wiped down all that stuff. My VR headset, I got those interchangeable plates too, so you can wipe down the face.
Oh, if it's going with my eyes, I gotta wipe it off. I gotta.
You wear a headset over a beanie,
so these are super clean. These never touch my actual skin.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, they don't go with you in the bathroom. No, just go look up Glad's tweet. It's probably not that old, and. Yeah, the dude that guy had some digestive issues that day. I'm just going to say.
Wow.
It is legit. Wait, he clipped it?
Oh, he clipped it?
Oh, God.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was just a snarky tweet.
No, it was a clip. Because he's starting to talk and he hears it starting. He goes silent. The whole thing is in the clip. You have got to go
Let me look at his timeline.
You're going to look at this right now, Cog? Live? We're going to get your live reaction.
No, you're not playing it on this. You're not playing it live. But go listen. Somebody needs to not eat an entire wicker swing set's worth of fiber, and then they'll be a little better off.
How many days ago was this tweet?
What the? That's wild, man.
Yeah, that was a laugh out loud. Yeah, don't listen. It's not worth it.
I've honestly had people do that to me in Xbox Live chat on purpose, not even on accident. They're like, "Yo, listen to this. I'm about to go tear up the toilet." It's a jungle out there.
Khan's about to throw up in his mouth.
We won't be playing ever again. I'm sorry. It was fun while it lasted.
You're going to have to send me the tweet because I'm looking at time. I don't know.
Yeah,
I got to know.
Everybody's warning you, dude. Cog, people are warning you away from this in the comments. I think you're about to open Pandora's box here. You got the monkey paw coming your way.
Don't do it. Cog, be careful.
Save yourself, Cog. Yeah.
Nah, y'all got to send me this, man. Unless he deleted it.
Did he delete it?
What was it? July 10th, something is a laugh, and then the tweet is unavailable. I haven't laughed out. Brilliant. No, maybe that's not it. I don't know. If y'all find it, send it to me.
Oh, hold on. Here we go. Got it.
Oh, you got it. Send that to
boy.
me. I got to know.
I'm not putting it.
Don't put it. Yeah, don't put it.
I'm not gonna put it in the
comments, but put it in the group Discord chat because I want to listen to that too. Yeah, I will not be listening to it live though because I need to watch myself. All right.
So yeah,
I don't know how I'll react.
I'll fess to that.
So
later.
Yeah, when it comes to crossplay, respect the other people's ears you're playing with. That's all I'm saying. Just respect them and apparently clean your headset. Just don't take it in there in the first place, but still probably clean it every so often.
Yeah, I mean it definitely. You can replace those ear pads.
Oh yeah, I got covers on mine. Yeah, I'm not using the real ones. Well, Khan, I know this has been a weird chat.
PSA.
Yeah,
Destiny hygiene is important.
Yeah, I know this has been a very
weirdest.
fair. But yeah, I mean, Destiny's got its stuff going on and things like that. But I wanted to ask, actually, if you're not watching on video, please check it out on video. Ebontis YouTube channel, Iron Lords Podcast YouTube channel, wherever we stream it. You got a wall behind you of a lot of books, actually. And just to go out with a little bit of culture after what was just a whole bunch of not, I wanted to see if you had a couple of recommendations for people, because you've read a ton of books from what I gathered. If you have top few books that you can recommend for people to pick up that you've, kind of made an impact on you for whatever reason.
Ooh, guess it depends on the topic. Probably the book I've read the most will probably have to be the Hagakure by Tsunetomo. It's a book on samurai tomes and sayings. Anything by Alan Watts or Jiddu Krishnamurti, those are like some of my top authors. They're both anti-gurus from the 50s to 70s. I have less than 10 books that are fiction. They're all non-fiction books back there. So I don't really read fiction at all. And that's why they make movies. So out of the 2,000 books or so much I own, they're like 99.9% nonfiction. Lots of books on history.
You read The Way of the
Eastern
Five
History.
Rings?
Well, I got 3 copies of that.
I love that book.
Yeah. So stuff like that. It's a good read, but it's short. It's pretty fast to get through. Like books on religion, books on philosophy, reference books, books on martial arts. The whole like top shelf on that bookshelf is all martial arts. The top 2 shelves actually are probably all martial arts.
Nice.
He's a Renaissance man, folks.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, as I said,
culture.
Deadlift a car could fill a room with martial arts trophies that'll beat you up while he has the intellectual knowledge to tear you apart with his brain as well as his brawn. This man is a beast.
I mean, you get one body, you get one mind. You don't want to let it dull in any kind of way. If you wanna enrich your life as best you can, you got to feed it with as many sources of good nutrition as possible. And the further we move down this path of like social media and like our attention being pulled, the better off your mind will be when you start to age. You got to keep it sharp, because a lot of information you receive is just like you get battered with it so much you kind of lose sight of like the more important things in life. So that helps.
Fewer glad tweets and more books. That's I think the message here today.
Probably.
There's a balance to be had. If you're looking at Twitter like all day long, it will literally turn your brain to mush. And the things you thought were important 5 days ago, or a day ago, or 2 hours ago, you're going to forget in 30 seconds. So,
gotta
hold your attention somehow. Yeah,
I agree.
Question from chat: have you read the ones you've got? Have you read them all?
Probably from cover to cover, probably like 40 to 50%. Everything else is like either reference, or I got to the part I needed and kind of backtracked out, or it's a history book, and there were certain parts I wanted to read, and the other parts I was like, I've retread this around so many times in other books, so why would I retread it again? Even from the author's perspective, like books on the on Chinese history, like Chinese war history.
Nice.
Books from Japan, Japanese like war history. Books on like African history, tribes, Zulu tribe, stuff like that.
Salute.
So it all depends on like the depth I want to go into the subject. I haven't read many things lately because of my business. So everything I read now is like it's an audio book playing while I'm lifting. Or when I was driving to work, it was playing like in the car. But now, since I pretty much work from home, everything's like either a documentary or a YouTube video on this screen while I work doing NDA stuff in the daytime. So
no doubt.
Not much. No newer picks in the past 16 to 24 months, because I work 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
So,
salute.
7-day work week. How American.
Shout out to Attic being in chat, that he can finally see chat, by the way. So
yeah, shout out to Attic. Files with Jack and watch this live finally. He hates Twitch. He's so happy we're on YouTube. Oh my, he's loving this. He's like, I can finally watch. Yeah, he despises YouTube. I think something with his phone. A lot of people say like when they remote or whatever, sometimes Twitch on the phone's a little weird.
Yeah.
But salute to Attic. Yeah, man. Tremendous history, man. Love what I heard from the Khan today. Dropping knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Very inspirational story. And we didn't even get really touch his artwork. It's fire.
I know, like how we got around everything else and didn't actually get to your art.
Yeah, man. Shout out. I shout about one for against some OG stuff. He had like a clip. He kind of did it was like a Destiny version of Altered Beast. And I loved it. And that clip.
Oh yeah.
Bro, that was fire. Like for us older gents, Altered Beast was a pack-in game for the Genesis, and it had like a, rise from your game was an opening. That's a classic line from the game, and you basically your character was dead. It was being resurrected. So how he flipped it, which was dope, was Destiny with the Traveler rise from your grave. And then he had like a little mock guardian, which is dope in the art style. So salute to you. I'm going to have to hit you up, sir, with some emotes and potential business opportunities. I've seen a lot of things look fire, and Iron Lord Podcast would like to get some of those services.
I'm always around if you're up for the wait.
Oh, for sure.
It was like his wait list is probably very. What is your wait list like right now? Like,
yeah, how's that wait list?
6 months plus. Rush is 2 months.
Damn. Business is booming.
2 months not bad for the business.
The rush is 2 months.
Business is, but we're gonna have to step up that we're gonna have to hit the Iron Bank, make that 2 month pop. I'm gonna talk to Sauce.
I think we get priority as being on the show with him.
Oh, we get to be out
like a fast pass.
We got the self-imposed
the Disney. You got to pay the $200 for the Disney Fast Pass ticket, and then the Fast Pass on top of that's another $200, and then we can talk to him directly.
I mean, once I get my booking fee for this show, I mean, sure I'll make it happen.
Yeah.
So he got. I don't handle. He handles.
He's good there. He's good. Yeah.
He's the big YouTuber here. He handles all that stuff.
He's got that advanced GG money.
Yeah, he got the check. He got the Outriders check. He's balling, man. I'm just so happy and lucky to associate with him.
Yeah, that's right.
That's real cute coming from the Last Stand media guy and the Shure mic that's like, what's up, dude?
This is nothing. What do you mean?
How much that mic cost, Cog? You don't even know.
He doesn't know because he didn't buy it.
That's right. He's living that life.
I know nothing you speak of.
I'm over here sitting on a TV tray.
Anyway, let's close out the show because moving on. Too much pocket watching going on, so we got to move on. Let's go.
Pocket watching. That's good.
No, I wanted to kind of ask though, like, as I know we didn't get to your art, which I don't know how we managed to get around your art so much, but it's actually been kind of a fun show to chat with you no matter what. But I did want to ask on a couple, like, do you have any like favorite? I know you have one favorite project, so I know which one because I remember that one specifically. But any other like top emotes, stuff that kind of like you started goofing around and it really came together well? Just any favorite pieces that you've worked on and any stories behind them that you've got that have, because you've done a ton of emotes, but like whether it's an emote that's just like, dude, I nailed that one, the piece, whatever you got. Just kind of curious, any favorites of your work that you've done? I know you've done a ton though.
When you spend all day making steaks, they all look the same. So all the emotes end up looking exactly the same. I made over 5,000, so they're all just. I don't even think about making them anymore. I'm on autopilot.
It's like muscle memory almost in a way.
I got the process down to like 20 to 30 minutes for one. So,
what do you think about these, Con?
These what?
These little art pieces I got here.
Art pieces he got behind them.
Have you seen these? These raid art pieces? They're one for each of the raids.
Yeah, I've seen them. Yeah. I like them.
Nice.
Salute.
Well, the one that you did for charity, I was going to say that one's really cool because your collab with one of the guys that, kind of got you back into it. How did that go? Because it's one that you both worked on. So how does like a piece of art actually work? I wanted to ask about that.
Oh, I drew one full version of it, and then I chopped it in half and sent him the other version, and he drew the other half.
Oh, really?
That's cool.
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Still pretty easy. I mean, that's the only piece of art I own that I actually had framed. Or printed out, for that matter.
Salute.
Everything else is a Sharp Brothers poster or a Samurai movie poster, or the one time I was on DCP, they had like all the portraits on that one. That's what they have like framed in here.
Oh, Ash, when she does her art, she always does. Yeah, hers is really cool.
So jealous of you guys. That I ain't gonna admit that one.
The DCP.
That's like the Hall of Fame, man. I'm like, damn. One day I'll get a call.
Yeah, Ash is I love Ash.
I've been on DCP.
Yeah, Ash. Oh, amazing. Like I love like when you got your bro. That was so dope because it was your face reveal. And I like how she did the split with the tight. Oh, that was so fire.
Yeah, she did like kind of a cheetah armor setup, which was really, really cool. So
it looked like it was like straight out like Leviathan or something. It was dope. It was dope. So Kai got his immortalization as well. That's what's up. Very good job.
That wasn't the first time Ash drew me. Like Ash, we've been trading art for like a few years, so
nice.
It was nice to get like the official up of me as the Drifter.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh, you'd make a great drifter. If they ever do a live action, you should.
Yes.
Oh, it was hilarious when they dropped the trailer for that season. My buddy screen capped the pictures. Like, I didn't know they jacked your likeness for the season coming. I was like, what? And I opened up like,
yup, I can see it. All right. Salute.
Well, somehow we've wrapped this thing up pretty well, I think. You guys got anything else you want to ask on?
No, man, we killed it, man. We kept it there for a good time. Great story. Like I said, love the passion, love the journey. Really good to hear, unique stories. And, to me, not besides the talent, which is immense that he has, you know what I'm saying? I love the perseverance. I think that is something a lot of us can take note of and use that for motivation, and physical, mental, you know what I'm saying? Health, all that stuff's important. So salute to the YungKhan. Came by the campfire, killed it today.
Travis, got anything else?
No, that's good. It was awesome to meet a guy who does awesome work in the community as always. And you're probably the most zen guest I've ever seen on the show. It's
very,
nice.
very yes.
You carry a lot of like gravitas and wisdom with you. I feel like you're gonna, after this podcast, you're gonna like climb on top of a mountain and like sit cross-legged and start like hovering like 6 inches off the ground or something.
Meditation hover.
That is
the hovering con emote in.
I can see
reaching
that.
Enlightenment. Yeah. So you remind me of this other mentor I had. What was his name? Yoda. I'm just kidding. Anyway, nice to meet you, man. That's cool.
Yeah, seriously, man. You are I guess that's kind of one of those is you've got all your stuff together. So you're chill, you're confident, you're humble, and yet there's so much that you've accomplished and that you're capable of doing even now and what you've overcome. It's very, very refreshing to see somebody who's not boisterous or anything like that up there, just like works their butt off and is pretty much as impressive of what they do and what they've been through. So just wanted to thank you for sharing your journey with us and also just being here with us for a couple hours in this ridiculous Destiny podcast that we do.
Yeah.
It's been my pleasure. I'm glad I woke up on time.
Salute.
No kidding. Me too.
Well, as we wrap up, he's probably not going to say anything because he's too humble, but we still got to give him his chance to do it. Where can people find you? What can they see you? If you got any like theme days going on streams or what to do, where do people find you if they haven't seen you before? And what do you typically do?
Actually, this is a pretty good time. So you can find all my links on conartist.org. At least to like everything I do. But the first of next month, we'll be celebrating my 4-year anniversary on Twitch. And my first year partnered celebration.
Nice.
So I'm live 7 days a week. Tonight is Free Mode Friday and movie night. We watched 2 like really bad movies on Amazon Prime.
Nice. I like that. Nice.
Let me see.
I'm here for that. I'm here for that Woo Wednesday though. The Woo Wednesdays is what I'm about.
Woo Wednesdays or every Wednesday I play Wu-Tang, and like one Wednesday a month I play like old Kung Fu
when I'm gonna get the Liquid Swords album, sir? I didn't see Liquid
that
Swords.
Plays literally every Wednesday.
Okay. Because I'm like, I saw Ray.
If you need the link to my Wu-Tang playlist, I can send it to you. It's like 80 hours long.
Woo! This is all. I love this. I can talk Woo with this man. Let's go. Real quick. Favorite Woo member. Who's your number one?
It's the Jizzle. It's the Jizzle.
Man. Okay.
It's the genius. It's the genius.
The genius. Let's go.
Yeah. When I was young, it was Method Man, but then I grew up and it was the genius.
Yes,
he forms the head. He formed. If it was the body, it's Voltron. He forms the head.
He formed the head. Matt even said that himself. Salute.
He forms the head. Yeah.
Super underrated MC. Sorry, my Caucasian friends. We have to break off into this tangent.
No, I'm here for it. Actually,
Wu-Tang is for everybody. Wu-Tang is for everybody.
It is. Yeah. I'm a big fan.
No doubt. Oh man, when the MCs came. All right, we gotta stop. This is gonna go too long. Moving on.
No, I was
I
like,
think that's it. I think I don't have any more links. Yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, I'll probably be giving away another tablet that week too. I give away a tablet every month, but
Nice.
I'll probably giving away another one for that celebration week. I give away like a nice drawing tablet every month because,
Nice.
I know how hard it is to start art without a tablet, and I give away a pretty nice one because
Nice.
being creative and like having money, they always go hand in hand. If I can like grease the wheels, I try to every month. So
They rarely go hand in hand, so good for you.
No doubt.
oh no, yeah, you guys make it fortunate enough for me to do that. So
Salute.
well, Travis, you got anything we can maybe expect from you, or a date in the future where you're like, hey, fun stuff's coming?
Yeah, well, I think Jizza is great in Wu-Tang.
My bad, Trav. My bad
as we whites call him GZA.
Yo, you stupid!
No, I've got. I just broke on.
No, I can't with Travis.
I'm just messing with you. No. I prefer Ghostface Killer myself, but anyway.
Wallaby champ, let's go.
Yeah, so I've got a review coming out later today. Chris Tales. It is a love letter to the JRPG genre. So if you're into that, you'll be able to read my review or watch the video later today. And other than that, I'm just going to try to get some Destiny in. You can follow me on Twitter at Guy Travis, where I'm sure I will have some takes on my late review of this moment of triumphs, or whatever the heck they're calling it these days.
Solstice of Heroes.
Solstice of Heroes. Thank you. Sorry, I always forget what this one's called. But yeah, I'll have my impressions there, and you can also find me here sometimes. I'm on this show, The Last Word. Also, I was on a great podcast this past Sunday, the Iron Lords podcast, with some awesome. Paris was there, and we got into it. We got into it, guys, over this latest controversy. So watch that if you care at all about the world and the video
Travis, you did your thing, brother. I was glad you pulled up.
Thanks. That was awesome, man.
Yeah, respected your perspective. I got to get E back in the round too, man. It's been a minute, E. It's been a minute.
Absolutely. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
we need another guy at the cookout. You know what I mean?
I can't. Travis be on fire with the jokes, man.
Anyway, that's me. Thanks, guys.
No doubt.
Cog, what about you, man? What do you got cooking? Speaking of.
Man. Yeah, well, first of all, again, salute to Con for pulling up, man. Fun show. Great topics. I can talk to this man all day. Man of my bracket, so I can respect these type of discussions, especially the run short stuff, the Tenchu, the gaming, the art. He's killing it, man. So I love to hear those type of things on Last Word. But yeah, for me, man, it's been busy. But obviously, salute to everybody for showing love for me co-hosting with Defining Duke. It's been real fun. Maddie's been awesome. I've been really enjoying it, man. It's a fun show. It's a fun show, and then we're just trying to make it our own. So salute to that. Hopefully, like I said, Patreon's the new episode's up already. If not, don't want to wait. You ain't trying to pay nothing. Get that Sunday for free $99.
How much they got to pay to get that early though? What is it?
You can think it's like $2 or $5.
Yeah,
it's not much.
It's not much.
Not much.
Little
but
love.
yeah, like I said, if you want to support, by all means. Like I said, Last Stand Media been doing their thing. So yeah, you got that, and obviously Iron Lords podcast, man. Every Sunday is the Lord's Day, 1 p.m. Eastern. We will have the young brother Andrew Alliance, very cool up and coming content creator, tech reviews. Very analytical. Also a Destiny guy. So yeah, check him out. He's on the rise. He was getting enough. I think he was actually on Kind of Funny Xcast at one time with Paris and those guys, Gary Wood and those guys. So check him out. I think this young brother is super talented, and no one really knows him yet. I think he's gonna be a star. So check him out. And there's this new YouTube podcast that Destiny podcast that I'm liking, man. Like, it's these 3 dudes, and there's one, there's a cheetah, there's a ninja on it, and this guy that wears a tie, and I like them on YouTube, man. I'm really feeling this new show, so I want to support.
Subtle.
I want to support, man. I heard about these last word guys, man. So that's always fun. Salute to everybody. Again, we know the adjustment, obviously on Twitch Prime, but we're gonna try to give this a run, see how it is. And already, we're seeing some, for the first debut, it's kind of cool to see a lot of the faces that we know and love still come over regardless of the platform. So much love. And yeah, man, thanks for E for making it happen. And what else you got going on, sir?
For me, I'm kind of prepping for a vacation, so getting stuff recorded. So while I'm gone, I'm going to be gone early August. So 2 Fridays I'm probably going to miss. We'll see if these two put together something while I'm gone.
Oh, yeah.
Might be on the Iron Lords podcast channel, so make sure you guys go follow them over there. Follow Ty Guy Travis, and please go check out our awesome guest, the Renaissance Man. Truly.
Yes.
Yeah, Khan, thank you so much for joining us, man. Like, so cool to like hear more about you, because you already hang out in your streams and see the art that you do, and there's a lot of talent there, and then you learn more about you, and it's just even more impressive. So thank you for spending the time, for cutting out the time with us. I'll get you that fee after. No, I'm just kidding. Gotta get that appearance fee over in there.
The appearance fee. You didn't read the Prime print, I see.
Yeah.
These con things ain't cheap, man.
No, but seriously, thank you for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure getting a chance to chat with you.
Thanks for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
No doubt.
But that's pretty much all I got. So yeah, for me, it's Ebontis, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, apparently all of the places. So if you guys find anything from me, thank you guys for always hanging out, of course. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, you ever want to hang out, we always appreciate having all of you guys in here. But for this episode, we'll probably wrap this one up here. It's not Twitch, so we're not going to go raid anybody since I can't do that. Some things they got to work on, but there's some cool
YouTube
stuff over here.
Need that feature, yeah,
it'd be cool to know if you could send somebody off to somebody else. But for this episode, number 159, very good one. Next week, we're going to have Drewski on. So definitely going to be Incognito's sandbox bag. PvP guides. I'll just start the podcast and walk out of the room, and these two will run it. So
we're gonna be talking. That's gonna be great.
Oh, we're gonna do my segment again too. Let's help Ebontis.
Yeah, that segment may apparently make a begrudging return. Other than that, today's episode has been a blast. Thank you guys for all the fun, the laughs, chat. You guys have been great. And Sir Khan, thank you. So for episode number 159, we appreciate it. And it has been the last word.